Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
With September upon us, the stretch run is officially here, and tonight from Progressive Field, Game 1 in a big four-game series featuring the Tigers and the Indians. And in the American League Central Division, the Royals have just a half-game lead on the Tigers. The Indians, they're right there at 3.5 back. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us. This ought to be fun the next 4 days. The Tigers, Rod, have it right in front of them now. They've got a team right behind them, 3.5 back of the Royals. They are a half game back. They've got to win some games now.
There's no question about that. They've got David Price going for them today, so that's a major step forward. But this Indians group, they're playing some outstanding baseball under Terry Francona. And remember last year in September, they were 21-6, so they've been there, done that.
All right, let's talk about David Price. His last start certainly was not David Price-esque. It was a situation where the Yankees beat him up in the second inning, 9 consecutive hits. Hopefully we're not going to see that again here tonight.
I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to see David Price go out there and dominate the way that he has dominated throughout his illustrious major league career. You talk about that with being with the Rays and also the Tigers. A total of 180 games, 175 starts, 83 wins, only 49 losses. He gets it done with an overpowering fastball, 95 to 98. Real nice secondary pitches, cutter, slider, changeup. What happened to David Price in his last outing, I don't think we're going to see anything close to that the remainder of the time that he spends in a Tigers uniform. I had a conversation with him a couple of days ago. Price was not making any excuses whatsoever. He didn't even watch the video. I talked about maybe were you tipping his pitches. He said, no, I don't care. The Yankees are a good team. I'm going to give him credit. I'll be ready for Cleveland. I'm sure he's going to be ready today.
All right, now the Tigers feel good about Price going tonight for them, but the Indians have to feel pretty good about Corey Kluber. When he first got to the big leagues, the Tigers had no problem with him, but this year it's been a much different story.
He's learned how to pitch. He's learned how to back off in fastball counts, and he goes to that cutter and that breaking ball. But those are the numbers you talked about. First 7 games, 5.50 ERA. He had only won 1 game. The last 3, he's only won 1 game, lost 1, but the ERA is much, much better. He's got a fastball that he will overpower you with, 95, 96, but it's been his cutter and his breaking ball and his changeup and the fact that he's not afraid. He'll pitch inside here today. He is their ace, and Corey Kluber very much right now is in the Cy Young conversation. His stuff is that good. Tigers hitters, they better get ready to hit that fastball.
All right, now how do you win games in a stretch run? How do you win games, period, in the big leagues? Well, it's got to be your starting pitching. Now, take a look at what the Indians' rotation has done in their career. Nothing really stands out aside maybe from Corey Kluber, 2.52 ERA, 13-8 record. Now, Bauer, Carrasco, Salazar, House, these guys have been okay, but the difference, Ron, is they have really elevated their game this last month.
You know, a lot of these guys have power fastballs too, Mar. You talked about this group. You talked about Kluber, but Carrasco's got an outstanding arm. Bauer has an outstanding arm. In their last 19 games, their starters' earned run average is sitting right at 2. Their bullpen's been outstanding all year. Their offense is challenged. They got a really good manager that's battle-tested in Terry Francona. This is going to be very interesting in September. We play them 7 more times. I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun.
All right, should be fun starting tonight. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Justin White. Hey, welcome to the show. The September call-ups are here, including Stephen Moya. Tigers, Indians, Game 1 next. Summer. 1 month now remains for the Tigers, the Royals, and the Indians as all three clubs sit within striking distance of one another. For Detroit, the path to a fourth straight division title begins today with 4 crucial games at Progressive Field as a matchup of David Price and Corey Kluber kicks off the week ahead. The heat of the pennant race begins as the calendar turns to September as the Tigers, Royals, and Indians begin the sprint to the finish in pursuit of the AL Central crown. And we welcome you back to Progressive Field here in Cleveland, Ohio. The Tigers and the Indians getting set to do battle here in the first of a big 4-game series. We hope your Labor Day is going well. The Tigers hoping to do some damage here this afternoon. Their lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers today. And for the Tigers, it'll be Ian Kinsler leading it off. He'll play second base. Torrey Hunter is in right field. Miguel Cabrera back in the lineup. He'll DH. Victor Martinez at first today. J.D. Martinez in left. Nick Castellanos at third. Your bottom three features Aviles Suarez and Ezekiel Carrera. And they are facing the right-handed offerings of the talented Corey Kluber.
He's having an all-star season, although he did not make the team this year. 13 wins already for Kluber. One of the things he's really done this year, he's mastered that cut fastball to go along with a 96-mile-per-hour four-seam fastball. Also a little bit of a curveball and an occasional changeup to the left-handed batters by the very talented right-hander. Let's take a look at the Indians' starting defense. It's presented by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they've got Brantley, they've got Bourne, they've got Aviles. Only the second career start for Aviles in right field. He plays everywhere else on the diamond. Third to first, Chisenhall, Ramirez, Kipnis, and Santana, and Yan Gomes is their catcher.
Well, the next 4 days should be fun, should be interesting. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera here in the first inning facing Corey Kluber on a warm and humid afternoon here in Cleveland. A little bit of a breeze blowing, not much though, as Kinsler gets set to lead things off for the Tigers. Fans still filing in here at Progressive Field for the 4:10 start. And Brad Ausmus's team, after splitting the series in Chicago, is at 74-62. And now Kinsler will step in as Kluber gets ready to go to work. Ian batting .280 with 13 home runs this year. The first pitch of today's ball game is in for a strike 0-1. Kinsler had 6 hits in that series against the Chicago White Sox. Hitting in all 4 in that series. Here's the 0-1. A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Corey Kluber lost his last 2 starts, even though he really did not pitch all that poorly. But this offense that Cleveland has, they don't score a lot of runs.
Now Kluber with the 1-1. Popped up foul back out of play.
You're going to see a lot of that this afternoon from Corey Kluber. Lots of power fastballs from the 92-mile-per-hour range all the way up to 96, 97.
Numbers on Wednesday in his loss to the White Sox, 6 1/3, gave up 3 earned runs, punched out 8, and took the loss. 2 straight losses after 6 consecutive winning decisions. Now the motion of the 1-2. Drilled to right field on a line. Moving over is Aviles. Still coming. Timing. Can't get it. It'll roll by him. Kinsler is off to the races. He'll hit the bag at second. He is on his way to third. And Ian is in there sliding safely with a triple.
Already a costly mistake by Aviles in right field. We just told you he is making his second career start in right field. And as a rule of thumb, you never leave your feet when you're diving over toward the right field line, because if you miss it, the runner, this would be Ian Kinsler, they'll get themselves a triple. He played a single into a triple there by leaving his feet.
So we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage of this leadoff 3-base hit. Kinsler, once he saw that ball roll by Aviles, he knew he could get to third. The Tigers have the leadoff man on as Hunter steps in.
That's good to see. Ian Kinsler getting a base hit the opposite way. One of the things that we've talked about the last couple of days is the fact that he does not use right field all that often. Ian Kinsler is pretty much a dead pull hitter.
Torrey sits safely in his last 3.
Infield relaxed. They're conceding the run. Anything on the ground, Torrey will get himself an RBI.
And he has 73 RBIs so far this series, hit 15 home runs.
Torrey's also been outstanding in this type of a situation this year. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. For the most part, he's been able to come through.
Here's the 1-0. He'll get back out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike on Hunter.
Torrey Hunter, man, those Blue Angels are loud.
This is worse than Shea Stadium.
How are we going to concentrate on this game today?
They've been whipping around the ballpark all day long.
Man, oh man.
We rolled into the airport downtown last night and we saw the Blue Angels airplanes parked right outside, and we knew today was going to be a fun day to watch them. They are loud. 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Torrey Hunter.
Check out Torrey's reaction to the planes. That's the same reaction I had up here.
And there they go.
Well, the fans at home are going to get treated to some baseball and the air show here today.
Apparently the noise abatement rules are not in effect here today at the ballpark. Here they come again. Okay, now they're just messing with us. Home plate umpire Adrian Johnson called time. I don't know if this is going to happen throughout the entire game, but Torrey just stepped out. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Hunter goes down on strikes. Well, Kluber gets a big strikeout, 1 gone.
This pitch right here is the pitch that has taken Corey Kluber to the next level. He's one of the elite pitchers in the game. It's a cut fastball. It looks like a fastball coming out of his hand. It has 4-seam spin. It stays on the fastball plane until the last possible second, and you saw it dart away from the bat of Torrey Hunter, almost like a slider.
Well, here is Miguel Cabrera now with 1 out.
Well, you knew Miggy was not going to take today off. That's the main reason why Brad Ausmus did not play him in yesterday's game, because his numbers against Corey Kluber are outstanding, and he was not going to be able to talk Miggy out of the lineup 2 days in a row.
So Cabrera looks at a strike, 0-1. Miguel came to the ballpark today and told his skipper, look, I can play first base. Let me go out there and play. But Brad Ausmus thought better of that. He wants to keep him off his feet as much as he can as he nurses that sore ankle. So DH is the call today. And as Brad says, day to day, the rest of the series to see where he'll play. Driven down the left field line. That ball is up and it is gone. A line drive home run for Miguel Cabrera.
Roy Hobbs.
He's going to hobble around the bases and give the Tigers a 2-0 lead.
I see you, big fella. You beast.
There was no way he was going to sit down today, and he just continues to hammer Corey Kluber.
Corey Kluber continues to try to overpower Miguel Cabrera with fastballs, and Miggy, for the most part, he has been 1 step ahead of Kluber every step of the way. That's a ball on the inner third. You can see Miggy clear his hips out of the way ever so slightly, and he catches it just right. That ball got out of here in about 2.5 seconds.
Well, the best way to keep from running hard is just hit the ball over the fence. And that was an absolute missile into Rally Alley, as they call it down there. 2-0 in favor of the Tigers. Nice start to this series. Here is Victor Martinez now. Victor at .327 had 5 hits in the series against the Chicago White Sox. And he looks at a ball high and away, 1-0.
And Victor Martinez, throughout his career, when he changed uniforms, when he was traded to Boston, now, of course, playing for the Tigers, he has simply worn out Cleveland Indians pitching. He's worn out his former team.
Now Kluber ready with the 1-0 pitch. And it's in there, strike 1-1. Kluber has been so good. He is not used to giving up more than 2 runs a start. He's had a pretty good streak, even though he's dropped back-to-back outings.
Kluber will be kicking himself when he goes back into that dugout, knowing that Miguel Cabrera is hitting nearly .600 against you. For you to try to overpower him is just not smart.
Kluber coming into this one had allowed 2 or fewer runs in 11 of his last 14, and here we are 4 batters into this game and he's given up 2.
Knowing that David Price, of what we saw against him 5 days ago against the Yankees, you're not going to ever see that again.
Cabrera's home run, by the way, was his 18th of the year.
It's his first home run in a long time too. Miggy was in some kind of homerless drought. Ball's going to travel well here today. It's hot, it's humid, and usually that dictates that the ball is going to travel a little bit better.
To be exact, Cabrera's last home run was August 2nd against Colorado.
Yeah, month.
That was at home.
Longest drought of his major league career.
Victor waiting on a 3-1, and it's in there. 3-2 the count. So these Indians fans had little time to settle into their seats, and all of a sudden they're down 2-0 on the lightning bolt by Cabrera, the home run to left.
Over the course of the last couple of years, the Tigers and the Indians have hooked up for some pretty entertaining games. There's no reason to believe that this one will not get the same way throughout this contest.
Inside and low, and Martinez will get his walk. So a bumpy start here for Corey Kluber. That will lead us to our Bernstein advantage here this afternoon. It belongs to J.D. Martinez. J.D. rocks Cleveland, no doubt.
This is really where J.D. kind of put himself on the map. It was in a series earlier this year when the Tigers really offensively were not playing all that well. J.D. Martinez pinch hit, he had a home run. The next day he also homered. And then Brad Ausmus has found it very difficult to get him out of the lineup since then.
So Martinez checks in at 304 so far this year. 17 home runs. That's a career high. Kluber brings it home, and it's swung out and missed.
That cut fastball at 90 miles an hour, it acts more like a slider than it does a cutter. Most cutters kind of stay parallel throughout the strike zone, but Kluber's got a little depth to his cut fastball. See where JD's former manager, Both Porter, got fired today?
Saw that, yep. It was going to be difficult for Bo Porter to make anything out of that franchise based on the talent he was given. A little bit outside.
Yeah, he and the general manager, Jeff Luhnow, they were not getting along either.
1 ball, 1 strike. And I assume Bo knew going in it was going to be tough to turn that team into a winner. But always tough to lose your job. 1 ball, 1 strike on J.D. Martinez. Victor is on first. 2 runs in on the home run by Cabrera. And he pulls that one to left field. That's a solid base hit. And the Tigers are peppering Kluber.
Well, one of the things that Kluber's going to have to do, and he's been pretty good at doing this throughout the course of the year, and that's make some adjustments. Obviously, the Tigers are all over the fastball he's throwing, even though it's 95 miles an hour. And we're going to take a look at J.D. swinging phantom jam. Looks like he just pulls his hand so close to his body to barrel up that fastball in the mid-90s. Kluber's going to have to change his game plan early today here and start throwing some off-speed pitches, maybe a few curveballs, and then go back to his fastball.
So that'll bring up Nick Castellanos. The Tigers already have a single, a triple, and a 2-run homer in this inning, plus a walk. And Castellanos steps in at 262. Nick has knocked in a total of 57 this year in his rookie campaign. Swing and a miss, 0-1. It's about this time last year where Castellanos got to the big leagues. The Tigers gave him a taste to the major leagues in the month of September. The Tigers, of course, have called up a few more players this year, and whether or not they play will remain to be seen, but at least he'll get a chance to feel what it's like in a pennant race, and that's what Castellanos got a taste of last year. There's Steven Moya, who had a gargantuan year at AA. 0-2. And I think there is value in that, Rod, and coming up and seeing what the big leaguers do during a pennant race.
For the young players, and most of these guys have played very long seasons. They've had good seasons. That's why they've been rewarded with their first call-ups, many of them. And there is a lot of value in going out and watching how guys prepare at this level. And they will get a chance to play a little bit in September as well.
Low and outside. The count on Castellanos now goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nick had 3 hits in that series against the White Sox. get it to Avila, who's waiting on deck. 2 runs into this Tigers first inning, 2 men on. 1-2 is hit on the ground to the shortstop. There's a 6-4-3 double play. So that'll end the inning. However, the Tigers strike first. Mickey had the day off yesterday. Back in there with some force tonight. 2-run shot over the wall and left. Part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Dodge, hurry in and get a great deal during the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. And by Lando Frost Premium Lunch Meat, great tasting lunch meat. We are back here at Progressive Field. Nice start for the Tigers. 2-run shot by Miguel Cabrera makes it 2-0 in favor of the Detroit Tigers. Here's the starting lineup for the Cleveland Indians today, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Michael Bourne back at the top in center field. Jose Ramirez at short. Michael Brantley, well, he's been awfully good this year at home. He's in left, followed by Santana. Yan Gomes catching. Kipnis at second base. Aviles Aguilar a call-up. And Chisenhall rounding it out for the Indians. And they are facing David Price today, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
And Price has already gotten something here he really hasn't gotten a lot of during the course of this year. That's run support. He checks in with a .332 earned run average overall, simply overpowering with 224 strikeouts against just 30 walks. He has outstanding command.
So Mr. Price in search of his 13th victory of the season in his 29th start. Michael Bourne stands in. And Bourne looks at a strike to get things kicked off here in the bottom of the first. Bourne batting .264, had a rough series that they just completed against the Royals. He was 1 for 14 in that KC series. So now Bourne's going to step out with the airplanes flying through. That's what happens when you have an airport so close to a ballpark. Both situated downtown here. Looks at strike 2. He's quickly in the hole. It's been a series of hamstring injuries that has really hampered Michael Bourne. He had a hamstring problem in March. They got it corrected. He had it again in July. So it's been tough for him to stay healthy. As a result, his stolen base numbers are down, just 9 this year for the Indians. He'll shoot that one in the air to left. And it's playable for JD. 1 out.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont Health System. Left to right, you've got Martinez, you've got Carrera, you've got Hunter. Third to first, Castellanos, Suarez, Kinsler, and Victor getting the start over at first base. And Alex Avila, he is catching David Price. Once again, he has caught all of Price's starts as a Tiger.
Here is Jose Ramirez batting .260. The Indians traded Asdrubal Cabrera over to the Washington Nationals. In fact, they dealt Masterson, they dealt Cabrera, and now you look up the standings, they're 4.5 back and in the thick of it here in September.
And Ramirez overall batting .260, but he's done his best work in that number 2 slot for Terry Francona. Batting average well over 300. And that's something that Price did not do against the Yankees when he lasted only 2 innings and he gave up those 9 consecutive hits in the 3rd inning. He did not pitch inside very aggressively. He'll do more of that here today.
I think I said the Indians were 4.5, obviously 3.5 back, so they are right in the thick of it, despite the fact they gave up 2 pretty big pieces from their team, although you could argue Cabrera wasn't having the greatest year and Masterson certainly wasn't.
And Cabrera's been re-energized now playing with the Washington Nationals. He's playing some outstanding baseball for the Nats. Masterson not so much for the Cardinals.
No. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Jose Ramirez.
And Terry Francona knows all about David Price. And said he wishes he was still pitching for Tampa before the game today.
Well, he'll get an eyeful here this afternoon. Little pop up first base side. Martinez going back, and he'll haul it in 2 steps onto the grass, 2 gone.
I was talking to Jeff Jones before the game today, and I was asking him, would you follow David Price's game plan today against the Tribe hitters, or would you simply provide one for him? He said normally we would provide the game plan because we've seen Cleveland a lot more than David, but David's had really good numbers against Cleveland in his career, so he said he would refer to David to basically allow Avila to dictate what's going on today. Avila will look to David to dictate today's game.
Well, he's going to face a pretty good hitter here in Michael Brantley, having a spectacular year. .310 for Brantley with 85 RBIs.
He made his first All-Star team this year, did Brantley. He's probably their best all-around player.
And Price missed it inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Brantley has hit safely in his last 4. He can do just about a little bit of everything. Hit for average, hit for power, steal some bases, an outstanding outfielder.
He's only made 1 error in the last 2.5 years.
There's a ground ball up the middle. Wow. Brantley just being Brantley.
Yeah, lefties don't bother him that much either.
So the Indians have their first hit. And that'll keep the inning going now for Carlos Santana.
Now batting for the Tribe, first baseman, number 41, Carlos Santana.
Very little movement there by Brantley. You see how quickly he got set with his front foot in that fastball at 95. He just took a really nice slow swing toward the baseball and was able to barrel it up for a really nice single up the middle.
Well, for Santana this year, the average is way down, 229. In fact, against the Tigers, only $167. But he's hit 22 home runs. Batting in that cleanup spot today. And he looks at ball 1 low.
When you look at all David Price's numbers this year, that's probably the one number that jumps out at you. The 23 home runs that he's given up this year with the overpowering stuff that he has. And they have a couple of guys, and they would be Santana and Yan Gomes, that he has to be very careful with here today. Both guys bat right-handed against the left-hander. Both guys have really good power.
High drive, deep left center field. Ball is hit well. Carrera back to the wall. Leaps, can't get it. That'll get a run in. Brantley comes around to score, and Santana has a double to put the Indians on the board.
Well, there's some of that power.
Ball was hit a ton to left center field.
How'd that ball stay in here?
I don't know. I thought it was going way out of here.
And first time Cabrera's played in this ballpark before. It looked like he had a beat on this ball. He got to the wall. And then once he jumped up, the ball looked like it hit right off of the glove. Actually, that's a play that he probably should have made, but don't know exactly what happened. He didn't know exactly where the wall was.
So Instead of a leaping catch out there in left center field, the Indians now have a double and a run, and the tying run in scoring position for Yan Gomes.
Carrera actually had one more step that he could take before elevating, and that would have made that a much easier play for him.
Now instead, Price will have to pitch out of this. Gomes looks at a strike.
Hey, one more look at Carrera. Once you get to the dirt, you know how many steps you have because you've practiced during the course of the game. And he got there. He had one or two more steps to take before jumping, and that would have been a much, much easier try for him.
Oh, 0-1 on Gomes. Santana, the runner at second. Gomes swings right through it out in front. 0-2. 2-out single by Brantley got it started. The double by Santana scores him. Gomes, a career year, getting a chance to play every day. 17 home runs for the Tribe. 54 RBIs.
Had a good day yesterday as well in Kansas City.
He had a big series in Kansas City. He was 7 for 14 against the Royals.
Yeah, 4 of those yesterday.
Swing and a miss. David Price will walk off the mound with a strikeout, his first of the game, but the Indians get a run back on the double by Santana. One in the books. It's 2-1 Detroit.
Late night in Kansas City at 3:15 a.m. Their manager, Terry Francona, deadpanned, "I feel fresh as a daisy that you see by the side of the road that was run over." But he said the true grind this time of year is not for teams that are in contention, but for the teams 20 or 30 games out. He said after their team took the lead last night in Kansas City, it was like a bunch of high school kids in their dugout. Mario, right?
All right, Keith, thanks. Yeah, it was a special comeback for the Indians last night as they were able to, despite giving up a home run in the ninth inning, come back, get 2 runs. Game was suspended, so eventually they'll finish it. But we all have gone through those 3:15 arrivals, haven't we?
Yeah, usually that Kansas City Royals bullpen, once they get the lead, I mean, it's lights out with Greg Holland, but that wasn't the case in last night's game.
See, strike called on Avila. 1 ball, 1 strike. They will finish that game September the 22nd right here in Cleveland. So even though that game was a home game for the Royals, it will finish up here. 1-1 on Alex Avila. Will be followed by Suarez. And then Ezekiel Carrera. Kluber trying to get back on track after really getting roughed up a little bit in the first inning. Really got fortunate to get that double play ball, which ended the inning. And Avila takes it low and in, made him move his feet, and Alex now is ahead of the count 3-1.
And so both pitchers here today, Kluber and also Price, pitching aggressively inside with mid-90s fastballs.
Suarez waiting on deck. Now Kluber ready with the 3-1. 3-2 on Alex. Like most teams, the shift is on for the Indians here defensively, with 3 defenders to the right of second base. And now the 3-2. Another foul back out of play. Avila now has hit safely in his last 4. Been backed up by Brian Holiday this year. James McCann has been called up from the minor leagues, one of these September call-ups. Don't know how much he will play, but he certainly provides some reinforcements and deserved the call-up based on his year. Now Kluber ready again with the 3-2. And he lost in ball 4.
And here was that wacky game last night in Kansas City. And Cody Allen, their closer, was in. He was going up against Alex Gordon. And Gordon has had a special year. He ties the score at 2. And that's hit the game into extra innings. And you have Yanni Chisenhall hitting a double against their closer, driving a couple of more runs. And that's where they stood.
And the rain came. They had to bring the tarp out. And that guy, well, I've got nothing for that guy.
So you got both closers struggling yesterday. Greg Holland of the Kansas City Royals and also Cody Allen of the Cleveland Indians.
Here is Suarez. Leadoff man on, the second walk of the game for Kluber. And a strike called on Eugenio.
Yeah, Kluber's got the 2-seam fastball. He's got the cutter that we've talked about and well documented already in this game. He also has the 4-seam fastball. That's the one that gets up to about 96, 97 miles an hour. So he's got fastballs going every which way.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that is 0-2 now. You know what struck me about watching that game last night in Kansas City? It is a different stadium when it is packed over there.
Looks good. I'm glad to see the fans in Kansas City start to come out and support that team. They deserve it.
Now Kluber is set with the 0-2. Rolled foul.
And Terry Francona said that the last 3 days that they played there in Kansas City, the atmosphere was like the postseason.
Well, they haven't felt it in a while. Tigers still have some meetings with the Royals. A home series and a road series.
Yeah, 6 more games with Kansas City. 7 games with the Tribe, including this one here tonight.
Chopped foul again.
So the Tigers will have plenty of opportunities to handle their own business. All they have to do is win some games.
And that's all that the Tigers are concerning themselves with right now. I know when September rolls around, you start to pay attention to the out-of-town scoreboard as much as you do to your game.
I know a lot of Tiger fans really down on this Tigers team because they were supposed to run away with the division. But you know what? And the Tigers are right where they should be in a pennant race in September.
And they go 2. Swing and a miss. And Suarez down on strikes. The second strikeout of the ball game for Kluber. How about the field conditions presented by Ace Hardware and the Scotts Company? It's 84 degrees, and the one thing that really sticks out, aside from the airplanes buzzing around our heads, the humidity. Really humid today here in Cleveland.
Yeah, quite sticky.
So here is Ezekiel Carrera.
You know it has to be hot and humid to get John Keating out of a coat, Ty.
No doubt. He's enjoying the polo look today. And Carrera shoots one on the ground to second. That's a 4-6-3 double play. The second one the Tigers have bounced into. No runs, a walk, nobody left. Presented by the McDonald's new triple cheeseburger for just $2. I've got Ian Kinsler this afternoon.
JD Martinez is my pick today.
And John Keating going with the starter. David Price to bounce back. And Price goes back to the mound here as we go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Kipnis, Aviles, Aguilar. 2-1 is our score. The Tigers got 2 on the home run by Miguel Cabrera in the first inning. Indians countering with an RBI double by Carlos Santana. Kipnis at 248 this year. Numbers way down from his all-star season of last year.
And numbers really not good this year against Tigers pitching.
Kipnis stands in, looks at a strike, 0-1.
And Kipnis spent some time on the disabled list this year.
Only 6 home runs. Last year hit 17 for the Tribe. And that time he got busted inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. David Price, good numbers on the road this year. 2.75 ERA. Those are combined with the Tigers and Tampa in road games. Bounce foul. The count is 1-2. Kipnis last season also knocked in 84. But he suffered an oblique injury that landed him on the disabled list in the month of May. And it's just one of those injuries that seemingly every team has had a guy or two with an oblique problem. Price ready with the 1-2. Got him, strike 3. Kipnis knew it. He will stroll back to the bench. Back-to-back strikeouts for Price. They get Gomes to close out the first, and now Kipnis here in the second. Here's Mike Aviles. Aviles made the comment a couple of days ago that it's starting to feel like last year around here in Cleveland. And last year, well, the month of September was unbelievable. 21-6. The Indians were in September last year.
They won their last 10 games of the year. They swept Houston. They swept the Chicago White Sox, and they also swept the Minnesota Twins. Now, the flip side of that is all three of those teams were below 500. And that's where Cleveland really struggled last year against teams that are above 500.
And missed outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, they've also had a couple of injuries they've had to deal with. Nick Swisher is out for the year, had surgery on both knees. And David Murphy, they're hoping to have him come back. He's had an oblique problem. A little bit outside. 2-1. He was pretty good in his last 10. 273, 4 RBIs. Popped him up. Right side of the infield for Kinsler. To the grass he goes. 2 gone here in the second. Well, time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Here's Jesus Aguilar. One of the call-ups for the Indians. Aguilar basically a first baseman DH type in the minor leagues.
He's a big boy.
He fits that profile of those 2 positions. And he starts him off with a strike. Fastball to 96 from Price.
Starting to see some huge young and big leaguers coming up from the minor leagues. Aguilar would fall into that description.
He was up here in May for the first time, played in a handful of games, and now back up here.
We saw him in 1 game.
Yeah. We said the same thing. He's a big guy.
Kenny Vargas of the Minnesota Twins. Tigers just called up a big boy too, and Steven Moya.
1-1 on Aguilar. Just missed, and the count now goes 2-1.
There's Steven Moya. He's about 6'7".
I was down getting my bag last night off the truck when Moya rolled in, and
you had to look up at him.
You did. Holy cow! I guess that's Steven Moya. Just off the plate.
If you talk to a scout, when they describe a guy like Steven Moya, they will simply not talk about all of his power or strong arm or any of that kind of thing. They'll simply say he's what they look like, meaning he's what big leaguers look like.
Best way to describe him. Fouled straight back. 3-2 the count now on Aguilar. Here are the rest of the call-ups. Tyler Collins, we have seen him before in a Tigers uniform. Likewise Perez.
And James McCann, his first stint in the major leagues. We saw Drew Verhagen earlier this year.
All the reports on McCann were really good, both offensively and as a catcher. Good looking prospect. Taking it all in right now on the Tigers bench. And he walked him, so Aguilar gets a 2-out walk. It'll be the first of the game now for Price. Brings up Lonnie Chisenhall.
Now up to bat, third baseman, number 8, Lonnie Chisenhall.
Chisenhall at 296. 50 RBIs this year.
And when we saw Chisenhall earlier this year, he was batting much higher in the Tribe lineup, but batting 9th here today against David Price. Even though he has really good numbers against left-handed pitching this year, still batting 9th against the Tigers left-hander.
347 versus lefties. David Price not your average lefty.
Nope, he is not.
Chisenhall back in the month of June had a 9-game hitting streak, which was a career high.
He's had good numbers this year against Tigers pitching as well. Started the season on the bench with Carlos Santana occupying third base.
Price darts one outside. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-1.
And Chisenhall said he got the best piece of advice during the course of spring training from Jason Giambi. Giambi said, you're not going to be the starting third baseman this year. No matter what you do in spring training, you're not going to start there when the season begins. But handle your business, control what you can control, and when you get your chance to play, go out and shine. And that's exactly what Chisenhall's done all year.
Slap foul. 1-2.
And here's those numbers that we spoke of regarding Chisenhall against left-handers. Only a few better than him in the American League. Victor Martinez would be one of those.
How about Altuve batting over 400 against lefties?
Yan Gomes also real good against left-handers.
Now Price ready with the 1-2. He'll get back out of play.
97. And so David Price has got his foot on that gas pedal here early today.
He has no intentions of repeating his last start, in which the Yankees got 9 consecutive hits.
Arguably the worst start of his major league career.
Ironically, the only other time that Price gave up 8 earned runs in a start was against these Indians last April. The 1-2. Grounded fair inside the bag at first base. Aguilar rumbling toward third. That ball is going to get to the corner. They're going to have to stop him there. It'll be a double for Chisenhall, and the Indians now have runners at second and third.
Ronnie Chisenhall got that big hit last night in Kansas City against their closer, Greg Holland, and he picks up right where he left off last night, getting a fastball down and turning on it, hitting the ball right past Victor Martinez down in that right field corner. The only thing that prevented him from getting an RBI is the fact that Aguilar, who's a big fella, he was rumbling around second, wasn't able to score. And here's Aguilar.
So Michael Bourne will stand in now with runners at second and third. Chisenhall a 2-base hit, improving on his numbers against lefties. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Michael Bourne came in batting .264. He's at .263 right now. He flied out his first time up. Two-time All-Star over in the National League. Bouncing ball slowly back up the middle. Kinsler on the charge. Going to have to hurry. Throws him out. And the threat is over. No runs. They get a walk, a double, and strand 2. Tigers baseball today presented by Bell Tire. Inning in Cleveland, 2-1 over the Indians in the start of this 4-game series. And here are some of the candidates we feel that are in the race for the Cy Young Award this year. Kluber is on that list. He gave up a couple of runs early. Scherzer, Sale.
Yeah, a lot of those guys have had some rough starts their last time through. Felix has had 3 rough starts. Porcello had a rough one yesterday. Max a couple of days ago had a rough start. But there are some guys right there that are in contention for that award this year.
Got to finish up strong if you want to win that award. Felix Hernandez has been scuffling lately. Here come the Tigers in the top of the order now. It's going to be Kinsler in third to start things off. Ian takes ball 1 outside from Corey Kluber.
And Ian Kinsler got himself a gift triple his first time up. The right fielder Aviles left his feet on a ball that he should not have. It got past him, and he turned a single into a triple for Ian.
1-0 is swung on and missed.
Only the 3rd start in the outfield in right field for Aviles, so he doesn't play out there all that often.
Corey Kluber came into this start here today with a 1.48 ERA in the second half, and that's what has propelled him into Cy Young talk. Bouncing ball back up the middle. And there is the shortstop Ramirez. 1 out. It's the first time Kluber has gotten the leadoff man. I'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Torrey, a strikeout victim back in the first. And that is in there for a strike. I read an article a couple of days ago on Kluber talking about the genesis of his kind of push to prominence, because Corey in the minor leagues and even when he got to the big leagues was a pretty good pitcher, but he didn't have overpowering numbers like he has now. Hunter takes outside, and I guess he was messing around one day during a rainout in AAA and started fooling with a two-seamer and just started working on that grip quite a bit and started throwing it more and more and more, and it became a really good pitch for him. And now the cutter and the breaking ball, I mean, he's got a pretty good arsenal now.
Well, he always had the overpowering fastball, and that's always a challenge for younger pitchers when you're coming through the minors. Yes, you can overpower the minor league hitters, but when you get to the big leagues, if you don't work effectively ahead in the count and you're forced into throwing that fastball in the mid-90s all day, big league hitters can turn that around. But the two-seamer, the cutter, the breaking ball, that really helps him out. Ooh, Torrey didn't like that.
Oh, I wouldn't either, man. That thing came right at his chin. And Torrey backs out.
So one thing Cooper also did last time we saw him at this ballpark, he pitched very aggressively inside to Miguel Cabrera. And that's a fastball just up around the chops of Torrey Hunter.
Now the 2-2. Torrey takes high, 3-2. There's a phantom cam look at that buzzing of the tower. Fly ball, center field, straight at Michael Bourne. 2 up, 2 down.
Let's take a look at the big boys' big play of the game. And Miguel Cabrera has already homered in this game. 2-run shot in the first inning, but he's absolutely owned Kluber in his career to the tune of a .552 batting average, 16 hits in 29 at-bats. He has trotted around the bases 4 times, and the slugging percentage is nearly 1,000 for Miggy against a really good right-handed pitcher in Corey Kluber.
.552, and the ball he hit back in the first inning got out lickety split over that left field wall. Miggy shoots this one in the air to right field. Aviles on the charge, drops it. He's having a tough day out there in right. So that ball will drop in front of Aviles. I think it caught him in the glove too, but that'll be a 2-out base runner. Well,
Aviles is not in there for his glove anyway. Took a 3 or 4 steps back because he got fooled by the swing of Miguel Cabrera. Then once he came in, just was not able to make the play. You could also see he's in the Sun field, but I don't think the Sun had anything to do with the fact that he did not make that play. He's just not an outfielder by trade.
And may have clipped his glove.
It did hit his glove. I saw that replay.
And it's going to give the Tigers now a 2-out base runner. Martinez walked in his first at bat. They're ruling that a base hit. So he continues to pile on now against Kluber. 2-out base runner. Victor with the base on balls in the first. 88 driven in this year. Playing to pull on the infield against Martinez. And because of the lack of speed of Victor, the second baseman Kipnis is way back out there, which allows him to cut down that range or increase his range. And that's in for a strike. So now Victor down to the count 0-2. Kluber this year has had 8 starts and 10 or more strikeouts. That's how dominant he's been. He came in 3rd in the league in punch-outs. And the crowd screaming for another one here. Victor is not a guy that fans all that often. Drilled right field. Ball is hit well. It is up there and it is gone. A home run for Victor Martinez. Number 28. So the inability of Aviles to catch the ball off the bat of Cabrera kept the inning going.
And Corey Kluber, I don't know, for whatever reason, he thinks he can overpower this Tigers lineup with fastballs, but he really can't. Tigers have some guys that can really turn around a high heater. Victor Martinez gets one at the upper reaches of the strike zone and somehow gets on top of it. And not only does he barrel it up, but he barrels it up and he hits it out of here. Costly mistake by their right fielder, Aviles, as you alluded to.
Well, it's not often that Kluber gives up 4 runs in a game. Last time he did that was July 11th. That's in there for a strike on J.D. Martinez.
Well, we told you that Kluber also lost his last 2 starts, even though he pitched pretty well in both of those starts. A loss is a loss.
Martinez had a single in the first inning. And J.D. looks at a ball inside and high.
A hanging cutter right there. Those go a long way. Those hanging cut fastballs.
Just off the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike now on J.D.
And one more look at the Victor Martinez home run. You really can't throw a ball by Victor. And very seldom does he swing and miss. And he was able to climb the ladder and catch that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. And Miggy loves it as he's limping around the bases.
That'll make your ankle feel a little bit better. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So home runs by Cabrera and Victor Martinez.
The big boys.
Getting it done in the middle of the lineup, 3 and 4. Against one of the top pitchers in the American League, Corey Kluber. Fly ball right field. Aviles going back. Still going back. He looks up. It's going to carry out. It's gone.
We had a feeling that the ball would travel very well here today with the hot, humid conditions and the fact that Kluber likes to overpower you with fastballs.
Tigers are clubbing Kluber. That's their 3rd home run in this game.
And J.D. Martinez just continues to sizzle in Progressive Field.
August, September, doesn't matter. Even down the stretch, overall, Martinez just remains red hot. So JD hits his 18th.
It's a really nice look at the JD Martinez swing in Phantom Cam. Tremendous concentration, letting that ball get deep in the strike zone and allowing Kluber to supply a lot of that power, which helped him drive the ball out to right field.
Mickey Callaway, their pitching coach, has to be thinking what's going on here as he walks out to the mound. Back-to-back home runs by Victor and JD Martinez. And the Tigers have opened up a 5-1 lead now. They've out-hit the Indians 6-3. And already we get some action in the bullpen. Kyle Crockett, the lefty, tuning up. A sight you probably haven't seen a whole lot this year in the third. Some help warming up in the Indians' pen for a Kluber start. Castellanos bounced into a double play in the first inning. A little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez homer traveled 394 feet. Victor's, that is. JD's went 352 to the opposite field. Now the 1-1 drill to the gap in left center. That ball is going to get down. Base hit.
It really doesn't matter what Kluber is throwing up there right now. Tigers are feasting on their very talented right-hander. That was a breaking ball at about 82 miles an hour that Castellanos caught up with. And Terry Francona, their manager, he's not used to seeing his starting pitcher Kluber get hit around the way that he's been hit around. He's going to send Yan Gomes out to buy a little time. He may be entertaining the thought of taking Kluber out of this game.
So Crockett continues to warm up, and as he does, you get into September, I think managers start to play things a little bit differently. There's more of an urgency in winning games, and right now it's starting to reel away from the Indians.
He's going to go get him.
Wow. Kluber's going to be done. So in a game featuring 2 ace-type pitchers, Kluber blinks and he's out of the game. It's the Wallside Windows pitching change.
And a career high 3 home runs surrendered today by Corey Kluber.
He'll walk off the diamond, and we'll be back to Cleveland. By Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. I would say it's a pretty good start to this 4-game series for Detroit. They have a 5-1 lead. They've hit 3 home runs. They've knocked out Corey Kluber in the 3rd.
And first time Kluber's given up 3 home runs in a game.
Here is the left-hander Kyle Crockett to take over.
And just about everybody that trots out of that Tribe bullpen is going to have some good numbers, and Crockett would fit into that category. A 1.82 earned run average, 3-0 in 24 2/3 innings for the long, lanky left-hander.
He will face Alex Avila here with a runner at first, 2 men out, and a strike called. And again, this whole thing started on that ball hit by Cabrera that tipped off the glove of the right fielder Avilas. Then back-to-back home runs. Avila had a base on balls, later erased on a double play back in the 2nd. And he grounds one foul, first base side, 0-2. It's surprising in that the Indians in the month of August had the best ERA in the American League, 2.51. That was among their starters. But here in the month of September, off to a shaky start. And Avila takes it outside.
Well, Kluber did something here that really you don't normally see the big league players do, and that's get taken out of a game and then simply keep going into the clubhouse. Usually guys will stay out there and at least root on that next pitcher that you've left a base runner out there for. But apparently Kluber not happy at the quick hook here today.
Ground ball, second base. That'll get him out of the inning. Gobbled up there by Kipnis. But it's a big inning for the Detroit Tigers, and it all started with Victor Martinez. He went deep, slamming one to the seats and right. JD up next. Hit one in right as well. Tigers now lead 5-1. A 3-game series with the San Francisco Giants. Fans are invited to stay after the game for a spectacular fireworks display. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com if you'd like more information and get tickets. Enjoy the Tigers Giants, pennant stretch baseball, and fireworks. What more do you want? David Price goes back to work and he delivers a strike, 0-1. Jose Ramirez leads it off. It'll be Ramirez, Brantley, Santana. 2, 3, and 4 against the Tigers lefty. Ball low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs on 7 Tigers hits, a run on 3 hits for the Tribe. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fouled straight back.
Yeah, David Price has got that real simple delivery. A lot of moving parts. As a matter of fact, it looks like he's almost in the stretch. He gets set, and then all of a sudden, just ever so slightly turns that right foot back toward the rubber before picking it up and delivering the ball home. Really quiet.
Swing and a miss.
And the ball just explodes out of his hand.
Ramirez strikes out, 1 gone.
Fastball upstairs right by Ramirez. Here's that Price delivery. Foot turn, nice balance position. He kind of uncoils when he throws too. I mean, it's almost like he gets that leg up and he doesn't put it down. He takes that arm, he throws the ball, and he pulls that arm back, that left arm.
It's a delivery that David said he perfected at Vanderbilt. He used to go with his hands over his head, but then decided that in order to find a better balance, this is what he has gone with.
Yeah, that left foot never really hits the ground. Just kind of stays up and just comes right back.
That seems to be a key word, whether you're talking hitting or pitching, the word balance.
Yep.
And Price has plenty of that. No balls, 1 strike on Michael Brantley, who singled back in the first and scored a run. But outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Already today here, David much better in his first pitch strikes than he was in that start against the Yankees. He has gone 10 of 12 against the Tribe batters.
Found it interesting when David was saying, and he told you this, that he did not go back and look at that film at all of that Yankees series. And I guess really what's the point? I mean, for a guy that's had so much success, he knows what he has to do to be successful. He just didn't want any part of that film.
I gave him every excuse, every opportunity to make any excuse whatsoever. I mean, I said, do you think you were tipping your pitches? He said, no, the Yankees are a good hitting team. I've struggled with them in the past. I struggled with them a couple of days ago. He said he didn't blame it on command. He didn't blame it on fatigue. He just simply said, you know what? They beat me. I'll get much better.
Santana waiting on deck.
Jeff Jones said he went to go watch the video because it's uncharacteristic for a guy to get hit around like that. Jeff Jones said he saw nothing different in the video.
And he walked him. So Brantley will get a base on balls to start a little threat here now. And let's go back to the studio. Check in with Mickey York.
Now batting for the Indians, first baseman, number 41, Carlos Santana.
Well, apparently that move's going to pay some dividends.
Well done. You know he's all or nothing. He will hit some home runs. He will strike out. That's just simply part of the package. I was watching some comments on Billy Beane, their manager, after they got swept by the Los Angeles Angels, and he said it was just flat out embarrassing. They had a closed door meeting for about 30-45 minutes after yesterday's game, and apparently it's worked so far here today.
I saw that same video, and he just had a defeated look on his face, like he just could not believe what was going on with his club.
He apologized to the fans.
Santana the batter, 1 on 1 out. 5-1 Tigers lead. We're in the bottom of the third.
And Brantley does have the ability to steal. Don't know if he's thinking about stealing. They're down by quite a few runs already here in this contest. And David Price is left-handed, so he will limit the jump that Brantley will be able to get if he's in a running mood.
Santana got him for a double off the glove of Carrera in center field his first time up. That knocked in a run. Strike call. 1-1 on Carlos Santana. 66 RBIs for the year now. Began the season at third base. Chisenhall started playing so well that Santana moved to first. He's also caught. He's also DH'd. Playing first base today. Low 2-1. Santana not afraid to take his walk. In fact, he leads the major leagues with 94 base on balls. He's gone 3-1 now.
Well, if you're Santana, you know pretty much you're going to get a fastball here from David Price. He's not afraid to throw you that mid-90s fastball, and we've well documented the fact that Santana, he's got a lot of sock in his bat. Already 22 home runs. Something's got to give here.
Bouncing ball to short. There's a 6-4-3 double play. Some Price gets the ground ball. It goes Suarez, Kinsler, Martinez, and just like that, inning over. Nothing lead based a lot on the power that they've showed. Miguel Cabrera's homer's got a couple of hits. Victor and JD also going back to back. And Corey Kluber, we're not sure we've seen this in a long time. Shortest outing in 2014.
Well, it's the shortest outing since May of 2013. The last time he pitched just 2+ innings in a game, and there's a new right fielder as well. Aviles, he's out of the game.
Well, Zach McAllister in a Wallside Windows pitching change is making his first relief appearance ever.
Well, Terry Francona was asked before the game today how he planned on using McAllister, who has a pretty good arm. The Tigers have seen a bunch of him over the past as a starter. He strikes out quite a few. He's got a fastball in the mid-90s.
Zach Walters is the new right fielder, replacing Aviles.
So that right field experiment didn't last very long here today.
Nope, about 3 innings, that was it. And it turned out to be a big play in the game. There's a bouncing ball to third on the backhand there. Chisenhall. Suarez out. So McAllister retires the man on one pitch. Here is Ezequiel Carrera.
Center fielder, Ezequiel Carrera.
Lights are on here at the ballpark. It was a 4:10 start here this afternoon. A little bit hazy. It's overcast. It's humid. Tigers playing 4 here against the Indians as the month of September has arrived. And Carrera looks at ball 1. Low and in, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Ezekiel, former Cleveland Indian. Here's the 2-0. In there is strike on Carrera, who got to the big leagues in 2011 with Cleveland, part of 2012. Went to Philly for a spell, Cleveland as well last year. Now McAllister's 2-1. Tipped into the glove for strike 2.
Carrera was involved in a ball in the outfield. He probably should have made the play. He had one more step before he did elevate. The ball hit right off the heel of the glove, and Dave Clark, who handles the outfielders, he was able to console Carrera and talk to him in between innings.
Short hop pick by Kipnis, who throws out Ezekiel. 2 gone. So McAllister gets a couple of ground ball outs. Bring up Ian Kinsler. Kinsler got it started immediately in this ball game, tripling to right field, a play that Aviles dived for but couldn't get it. And then by the time he was able to chase it down, Ian went to third and then scored on the home run by Cabrera. Missed it low, 1-0. Tigers 7 hits in this ball game. The Indians have just 3. Ian looks at a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. McAllister this year starting the season in the rotation. As we mentioned, his first relief appearance ever in his career.
They've got some hard throwing right-handers that potentially next season could be some really good starters for them. And McAllister, I'm sure they not given up on him totally. That last fastball he threw was 97 miles an hour. They've got Kluber. They got Trevor Bauer, who also throws very, very hard. Carrasco throws hard. And that kid Danny Salazar we saw a couple of years ago has an outstanding arm as well. So they've got some right-handers that can really throw that baseball in the mid to upper 90s.
Chopper to third base. That's going to be a fair ball. And it's going to get by the first baseman, Santana. Kinsler on his way to second, maybe more. He's going to third, and he is going to get there. An overthrow by Chisenhall leaves Kinsler at third base.
Well, Lonnie Chisenhall probably shouldn't have even thrown the ball over to first base. Not with Ian Kinsler running. Kinsler has good speed, and Kinsler will probably be given a base hit, and it'll be an error on Chisenhall. He surrounds the ball and he throws it, and he bounces over to Santana. Santana obviously did not have a chance to make the play.
So the Tigers now have a chance to get another run. Bring up Torrey Hunter, who has struck out and flied out. Still have not received a ruling on that play. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 on Torrey. Imagining a hit and an error. 2-base error. But we shall wait. McAllister trying to pitch around. Kinsler at third. Hunter waits on the 0-2. Torrey sends a ground ball up the middle. Kipnis will backhand it. And Hunter is out. That'll end the inning. So nothing comes. Kinsler's hit. Let's go to the bottom of the fourth. Premiering Tuesday, September 9th, only on FX. Well, back here in Cleveland, David Price will climb back on top of the hill, leading it 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning. They gave the official ruling on that Kinsler ground ball. It's officially just an E5. There was no hit involved there. So E5, Kinsler now 1 for 3. And Price goes back to work. Here is Yan Gomes to lead it off. It'll be Gomes, Kipnis, and Walters. And David misses outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Gomes a strikeout victim his first time up. And if you're looking at Price's strikeout totals, well, he's got 3 so far in this game.
And Yan Gomes having an outstanding year, getting a first start at catching all season long in the big leagues. A lot of homers, driven a lot of runs. I guess really the only knock on Gomes is surprisingly he's made 12 errors this year from the catcher's position.
Well, I think they identified him last year as a guy that could handle a position day in and day out when he got his chance, and well, he's done just that.
Well, their pitchers really enjoyed throwing to Gomes last year.
It's in the air to the right side where Martinez is waiting and drifted on him a little bit. And 1 out. So Gomes is 0 for 2. That'll bring up Jason Kipnis.
Second baseman, number 22, Jason Kipnis.
Kipnis drops down a bunt. It's going to be a dandy. Castellanos got to eat it. He'll have that one for lunch. And it's a bunt single for Kipnis.
That's a nice job there by Jason Kipnis, arguably going up against a very difficult left-hander to hit, David Price. He simply took his time with Castellanos playing deep at third base. He made sure that he got it down, and then he ran. And by the time Castellanos picked it up with that long grass here, Progressive Field, it was going to be a base hit for Jason.
So that'll be just the 4th hit of the day for the Cleveland Indians. And here's our first look at Zach Walters, who took over defensively for Mike Aviles. This is his first at bat of the ball game. Walters ropes one foul on the ground just outside of the bag at third base. They got him from the Nationals in the Asdrubal Cabrera deal. Minor league numbers really good. 17 homers, .310 batting average. Indians brought him up early August when both Swisher and Murphy went on the disabled list.
He's already gotten some big hits for Cleveland since coming up. And the batting average is very low, but he's hit 6 homers.
Price got himself a double play ball back in the third. Would like another one here, and he misses outside. Here are some of the particulars on Walters coming over in the Asdrubal Cabrera deal. A walk-off home run on August 13th against Arizona. Well, the power numbers have certainly come in handy for the Indians. Swing and a miss. Price at 95 with the fastball. Threw it by Zach Walters.
That's what David didn't have in that start against the Yankees. He really could not command that fastball at 95 on the outer edges of home plate that he had previously been able to do in his previous 3 starts as a Tiger. Avila asking for the fastball up here to Walters.
Swing and a miss.
And he hit his glove. This is when David Price is right. Avila will simply put the glove out there, and David Price will simply throw it right to the glove, which is rare for a guy that has as much giddy up on his fastball as Price does.
Boy, Avila didn't even move his glove, did he?
He did not.
Phantom cam showing the strikeout of Walters. That'll bring up Aguilar. And Price now has picked up strikeout number 4. David came in leading the American League in innings pitched and strikeouts. Aguilar walked in his first at bat. In there, strike 1.
Nice little fading changeup right there. And that's the pitch right there that Avila said that he did not realize that Price's changeup was as good as it is. David Price is just simply reaching back and throwing the fastball right by the last 2 hitters, and Walters and Aguilar.
Last one in 96.
I mean, really, you don't even have to go to another pitch here. I mean, you could simply go back upstairs with that fastball about a belt buckle high and throw it right by him again.
Such an easy 96, too.
David wants the fastball away. He does not want the fastball upstairs.
Swing and a miss. Price says take a seat. 5 strikeouts. That'll end the inning. Nothing doing for the Indians as we go to the 5th. Some heavy artillery coming up for the Tigers. The home run hitters today: Cabrera, Victor, JD. They're coming up when we get to the 5th.
White Sox over the weekend. And this at-bat right here prompted Brad Austin to take him out of the game after this particular at-bat when he was running down the line. He had Sunday off, but Monday, his first at-bat here against Corey Kluber, he plays long ball to left field.
Well, the Tigers lead it right now 5-1 as we go to the 5th inning. Zach McAllister goes back to the hill and he delivers strike one to Miguel. It'll be Cabrera, Martinez. This is how the Tigers envision the middle of their lineup would perform. All three have homered in this game, knocking Corey Kluber out in the 3rd inning today. There's a strike. 0-2 now on Miggy.
And most of the fastballs that McAllister has featured since coming into the game have been anywhere from 94 to 97 miles an hour.
That'll bounce in. 1-2 on Cabrera. His 2-run shot in the 1st inning was his first home run since August the 2nd. Which I want to give you an idea of how much that ankle has been bothering him. He's just not been able to turn on the ball. He has not been able to drive the ball. Although he drove the one in the 1st inning like a laser over the left field wall. McAllister missing outside. 2-2 the count, and here's what 3, 4, and 5 has done today.
And major damage. 5 for 5, 4 runs scored. They've driven in all 5 of the runs the Tigers have scored. That would be Cabrera, Martinez, and Martinez.
Swing and a miss, and Miggy goes down for the first time today.
Let's take a peek at our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. It was Victor Martinez, and it was against Corey Kluber before he left the game. Kluber able to get ahead of Victor with a 4-seam fastball, then a nice little breaking ball. And then he tried to miss with an 0-2 fastball at the top of the zone, and Victor able to climb the ladder with his hands and get on top of it and hit it a couple of rows back in right center field.
Martinez's home run was his 28th. It also gave Victor an even 90 RBIs. He swings and misses. Of course, this is where Victor originally established his high in homers. He was back with the Indians in 2007, hit 25 home runs. Way outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Martinez has reached the 100 plateau in RBIs 4 times. High fly ball left center field. And drifting back is Brantley to make the catch. 2 up, 2 down. So McAllister has done some good work out of the pen now. He's retired 4 straight. That'll bring up J.D. Martinez. Getting word now that Mike Aviles left this game with lightheadedness and dizziness.
Yeah, we saw one of the trainers talking to him in the dugout after he came off the field after the 2nd inning.
JD 2 hits today, single and a homer. That solo home run back in the 3rd went back-to-back with Victor Martinez.
Yeah, really no coincidence for me that as J.D. Martinez has started to hit the ball back to right field and right center field, he's gotten himself back on track. He went through about a 2-week span there after the All-Star break where he was pulling off everything. He was trying to pull everything to the left side of the diamond.
How do hitters fall into that trap? I mean, they know they can't do that or shouldn't do it.
When you start going good, you start to get a little cocky, you start to get a little quick, and then you just have to get right back to the basics.
Well, he threw that one by him in 96. 1-2 on Martinez.
He's got a lot of life on his fastball. The ball is coming out of McAllister's hand very nicely today.
5-1 Tigers lead. We're in the 5th inning. Castellanos on deck. Fouled away. First of 4 between these two clubs. The Indians have won 7 of the 12 meetings so far this year. Swing and a miss. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Zach McAllister. A couple of strikeouts here in the 5th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. Indians, they're in the midst of 30 games in 30 days. They will not have an off day until September the 25th.
Yeah, which means their starting pitching is going to have to be as efficient as it has been the last 3 weeks. And really, that's the way the Cleveland's been able to get back into the race. About the last 19 games, their starters' earned run average is about 2. And Corey Kluber was not good here today.
So as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, David Price goes back to the hill. Bonnie Chisenhall looks at a strike, 0-1. Only 4 hits allowed today by Price. Chisenhall has one of those. He doubled but did not score back in the 2nd.
And David Price is 15 of 18 in first pitch strikes so far here today. And when a guy that has the kind of skill set and talent that David has, if he gets ahead of you 0-1 just about every single at bat, you're not going to get a lot of good swings against him.
Shallow fly ball to left. Going to drop. Base hit. Chisenhall loops one into left field for his 2nd hit.
Yeah, that was a broken bat. It was a fastball that was down and away, and Chisenhall got just enough of it to hit it over the head of Suarez, but in front of J.D. Martinez, who was playing in left field.
So Chisenhall, who had the big double in extra innings last night in Kansas City to put them ahead.
Yeah, he's 3 for his last 3 against a couple of good pitchers. Holland, the closer of Kansas City, is one of the best in the business, and of course David Price would fall into the same category.
Here's Michael Bourne. Swing and a miss.
A lot of fastballs thrown today by Price, and he's just simply throwing those balls right by most of these tried batters.
A lot of swings and misses today. Bourne is 0 for 2. Ground ball fly out. fastball missing.
I told you a little bit earlier, too, that David Price is getting something here today that really he has not gotten all year, whether it be pitching as a Ray or pitching for the Tigers. Not a lot of run support.
Only 12 wins with his 3.32 ERA coming in, 10 losses. Little chopper foul, first base side.
And here's one of the reasons why David Price has not been able to compile more than the 12 wins, averaging over just 3.5 runs per contest. Danny Duffy, the only other starter in the American League that gets worst run support.
Chisenhall with a leadoff single. The 1-2 to Bourne is slapped to left field. That's going to get down. Back-to-back base hits now for the Indians.
That's a nice job there, Mike Biker Bourne. He knows that David Price has been throwing him the fastballs all day long, so he really shortened up his swing and just played pepper with the ball. That's all he did. Just met it. Just contact. Straight to the ball.
So the Indians now have 6 hits. Trying to mount a comeback here in the 5th inning, down 5-1. They've got the number 2 hitter, Jose Ramirez, coming up. Crowd here today really hadn't had a whole lot to cheer about. And it's in there, a strike. Ramirez down at Columbus was hitting .302. Stole 19 bases. He's only 21 years old. Called up in July. Now the 0-1. Fouled straight back. 0-2 on Jose Ramirez. Price now going to have to navigate through the middle of the Cleveland lineup. Michael Brantley waiting on deck. 2 on, nobody out. Five strikeouts in the ball game for Price, Chisenhall, and Bourne, the base runners. It's an even 70 pitches thrown now by David Price. Price allowed a run in the first on a double by Santana. Nothing since. He's been helped out by a double play. And again the 0-2. Swing and a miss. And he just dusted Ramirez with a 97-mile-an-hour heater. Six strikeouts now for Price.
Been able to spot that fastball in the mid-90s away from the right-handers all afternoon long.
Well, here comes their best hitter now, Michael Brantley. Now enjoying a 5-game hitting streak. Had a single, scored a run in the first. Leads the team in RBIs with 85. In the air, shallow left. Suarez back, Martinez in, and J.D. hauls it in. That's a big out there. Brantley is gone. Got him on one pitch.
You talked about the fact that Santana, he walks a lot. As a matter of fact, he's walked as much as anybody in the big leagues the last couple of years, and he got himself in a really nice count. Looked like he was going to walk 3 balls and 1 strike, and then he got greedy on the fastball away from him, thrown in the mid-90s by David Price, and he tried to pull that ball, which he did, for a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play.
Now Avila will go out to the mound to have a chat with Price. 2 on, 2 out. We're in the 5th inning. 5-1 Detroit. Tigers got 2 in the first, 3 in the third. Santana now 66 RBIs, 22 homers. Pulled foul.
Almost got Cleveland's finest down there.
Yes, it did. Well, Santana this year with 2 outs and men in scoring position, just 208. Price has gotten ahead of him. No balls, 1 strike. Santana had 4 RBIs in that series against the Royals. Picked up another one here today. Up and in, and the count goes 1-1. The inning started with back-to-back singles, Chisenhall and Bourne, but a strikeout of Ramirez and a fly ball from Brantley.
John Adams not taking Labor Day off.
No, he's not. He's banging away on that drum out there in left center field. Here he is. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
And one of the things that Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach of the Cleveland Indians, would like to see Santana do after he's fallen behind with 2 strikes is not take that big swing that he just took right there, but simply cut it down a little bit to prevent the strikeouts. He struck out 108 times this year.
And the 1-2. Ball high. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Santana. Since 2011, only Joey Votto has had more walks in the major leagues than Santana.
Just about every fastball of the 76 total pitches that Price has thrown has been 95 miles an hour and above.
Here's the 2-2. Got a piece of that one in 96 to stay alive. Price down 77 pitches. Pretty marked improvement today for David from his last start against the Yankees. Only 1 run allowed so far. Comes the 2-2. Got him, strike 3 in the outside corner. Santana didn't like it, but he is strikeout victim number 7 tonight for David Price. A couple of hits to start the inning, but it fizzles in the end as Price catches Santana staring at strike 3. The top of the 6th inning now at Progressive Field. Game 1 in this big 4-game series featuring the Tigers and the Indians, the team directly behind them in the Central Division. Castellanos hammers the first one foul to start off the 6th. Nick Benefila and then Eugenio Suarez.
Well, McAllister has been able to save that Tribe bullpen here after Corey Kluber just pitched 2 innings. And he's a former starter, so he can eat up quite a few innings this afternoon for Francona.
And he's eaten up a couple of them now. Crockett came on, got the final out of the 3rd when Kluber was taken out of this game. Shortest outing of 2014 for Corey Kluber. McAllister is ready with the 1-1 pitch. Drill to right field. That's a base hit for Castellanos.
I love his swing.
It's 2 out of 3 today.
Inside out. Takes that 96-mile-per-hour fastball and hits it the other way. And Phantom Cam will show you a really nice example of getting that front foot down. And once it's firm, that front foot, now you can rotate the hips. And when you take the proper direction with your hands, you can barrel up that 96-mile-per-hour fastball and drive it the other way. Oh, you cannot do it any better than that.
It'll be the 8th hit of the game for the Tigers, the 2nd for Castellanos. Here is Alex Avila, who looks at a strike 0-1. Try to remember a young guy that has come to the big leagues with that type of swing. I mean, nobody comes to mind. It's such a special swing.
I'm having a difficult time of thinking of one myself, to be perfectly honest with you.
I know Derek Jeter has had that inside-out classic swing to right field, but
yeah, but he came to the movies 2 decades ago.
Exactly. It's not exactly new, is it? Here's the 0-1. Fouled back out of play.
Michael Brantley, their outfielder, has a pretty nice approach, really simple approach. It's a lot like Castellanos, but Brantley, their left fielder, he's in his 2-strike approach pretty much from the word go, and he does drive a lot of big fastballs the opposite way.
Castellanos has done just fine here in his first full season in the major leagues.
It's the main reason why Castellanos was one of your better hitting prospects in all of the minors before getting this opportunity to play every day in the big leagues this year.
Swing and a miss. And Avila's out of there. 1 gone. 3rd strikeout now for McAllister. Hey, Fox Sports is proud to support Stand Up to Cancer's 4th annual star-studded telecast. Catch the fundraiser featuring music performances and stars from film, TV, and sports in an inspiring stand against cancer on September the 5th at 8 Eastern on Fox Sports 2. 1 on 1 out. Here is Eugenio Suarez. That's in there for a strike. Tigers with a little bit of added depth now in the infield with their call-ups. Hernan Perez was added to the roster today from the minor leagues. They've had Romine, they've had Suarez, now they have Perez, who Brad Ausmus said probably will get a start or 2 here and there.
He can run too, so he can give them some value as a pinch runner off the bench.
Castellanos was on the move. He'll go back. So the Tigers with their call-ups have some versatility now in the infield. They've got some guys that can run. They've got some thump in Stephen Moya. Solid catching abilities of James McCann. So what September is all about. There's Perez on the left. Now the 0-2 outside as Castellanos is bluffing and he dives back in.
Told you that Gomes behind the plate has made 12 errors. And I would assume that most of those errors are throwing errors, but he does have a really good arm from behind that plate.
High fly ball left field, playable. Michael Brantley backing up. 2 gone now as Castellanos retreats.
You think Michael Brantley has a shot to win a Gold Glove with Gordon playing the way that he plays and has played the last number of years? This guy's only made 1 error in the last 2.5 years. And he's hitting 2.
Yeah, I think Gordon gets more assists, doesn't he?
He does.
But 1 error speaks volumes. But I think that Gordon probably is going to win that award. You're right, he does hit. So maybe that is probably going to get him a little bit closer. 84 games, 9 assists, no errors in left field.
You know, the folks at home are probably wondering how in the world does anything that you do defensively have anything to do with an award that you might win? Anything you do offensively might have anything to do with an award that you win defensively, but it's the guys that are doing very well on the offensive end. They get noticed more for what they do defensively. You just don't really notice a good defender unless he's hitting.
And Brantley has taken the next step offensively this year. That is ripped to right field, base hit. Castellanos will stop at second. It's a solid single to right for Carrera.
He's got about 6 hits in the last 3 starts. 5 of those, of course, over the weekend in Chicago, where he was hitting everything to left field. This time he gets a fastball and turns on it, but he keeps it on the line.
So a 2-out threat now for the Tigers with Ian Kinsler standing in. He had 1 for 3, had a triple in his first at bat and scored a run. It'll be the 9th hit of the game now for the Tigers in this game. Kinsler at 280 on the season, 76 driven in. Strike 1 on Kinsler. Kinsler came into this game 4th in the American League in total hits, and that's saying something considering the second half of the year he slowed down considerably.
Well, that just goes to show just how well he was playing the first half of the year, and he's picked it up lately as well. He's had a real nice year. You're not usually going to go through the 6.5, 7-month season and you don't have a slow point at some point in time during the course of the year.
Kinsler with a triple in this game now has 161 hits. And 162. Let's see if it drives it around. Castellanos being held. Brantley guns it in.
Well, 9 assists from that left field position by Brantley. We just showed you that. And Dave Clark with Castellanos running from second base, even with 2 outs. Did not want to run the risk of having Castellanos thrown out at home plate. And Tigers have figured McAllister out here the last few swings or so. That solid base hit to left field by Kinsler. Dave Clark knew immediately that he had to hold up Castellanos.
Torrey Hunter sends a ground ball to short. And he'll be thrown out by the shortstop Ramirez to end the inning. So the Tigers will leave them loaded as we go to the bottom of the 6th.
fast delivery of the game. Runners on first and second, nobody out. David Price was able to get out of that jam. He got a strikeout. He got a pop-up. And then he got another strikeout of Carlos Santana looking. And David Price stranded both of those runners.
Well, right now the Tigers enjoying a 5-1 lead here in game one. They did most of their scoring, I would imagine, or I should say all their scoring early on in the first 3 innings. They got a 2-run first, a 3-run third, and have led most of this game. In fact, all of this game, as Price heads back to the hill in the bottom of the 6th. Yan Gomes starts it off. It'll be Gomes, Kipnis, and then Walters. It's fouled straight back 0-1.
And Gomes got the fastball that he was looking for at 94 right down the middle and fouled it off. Meanwhile, David Price, well, he's about as good as you can get in first pitch strikes. He is 20 of 24. That's 24 batters that have gone to the plate. He has gone strike one on 20 of those. This is like that start he had in Tampa.
I was just about to say that because he has dotted his fastball in this game exactly like he was doing it in Tampa.
But in that start in Tampa, he didn't walk anybody, obviously, and he did not have a 3-ball count the entire game. That's unheard of.
It is. Unfortunately, the Tigers offense didn't show up that day. It's pulled to third sharply. Castellanos throws him out.
Yeah, they had to apologize to David after that start for not scoring any runs for him.
Let's go back to the studio now. Time for a game break with Mickey York.
Second baseman, Jason Kempton.
All right, Mick, thanks very much. Castellanos made a nice play in that hard-hit ground ball.
And this is where they talk about third base being that position where you just react. That's all you could do on that missile off the bat of Yan Gomes.
Jason Kipnis. Infield hit his last time up 1 for 2.
A lot of these Cleveland Indians are starting to grow mustaches. Have you read that story?
I have. It's called the rally stash?
Yeah, I think that's what they call it.
Chisenhall started it. Of course, he had it from the beginning of the year. Now some of the other teammates are joining him.
And they say the object of the mustache is to make it look as bad as possible.
Mission accomplished on a lot of them. The one Aviles was sporting earlier in the game, not real good. Price.
Anything that you could do to rally the troops late September. It's been a long year.
Well, the Red Sox sported the beards late last season, and that got them going.
His House, one of their starters. He's got the long stash going.
That's the old Todd Jones mustache there.
That's tucked all underneath the chin.
Right. Former Tiger closer used to wear one like that.
We saw him just a couple days ago. He was at Comerica Park, that last homestand.
That's in for a strike. The roller coaster.
Ty Van Berkeley, the hitting coach, has got a Fu Manchu. That's how you sport yours.
Mm-hmm. Exactly like that. Here's the 3-1 pitch.
Some of the guys had to put on some fake mustaches because they really can't grow one, and that would be the category that I would fall underneath.
Some of the baby faces?
Yeah. I really can't grow a facial hair.
Whatever works. Some guys are just bowing out. They're just not doing it.
Look like the youngster Aguilar can't grow any facial hair either. Little 5 o'clock shadow going though.
Little chopper. Price coming over to make the play. He's just going to run to the bag. Kipnis is up. John Tomlin right now is on a paternity leave, and he has told everyone that his new baby's going to have a mustache.
No, not going to do that to the baby. Terribly so.
And they're going to have to take a picture with one of the terrible stashes on Josh's new baby. So, yeah, we'll look forward to that. Here is Zach Walters now with 2 outs, nobody on.
Walters did not start in the game here tonight. He came in after Aviles left, and David Price struck him out. Threw a fastball right by him in the mid-90s.
Now, did they take a marker here to put one on for Zach Walters? It's barely visible.
Might be one of them fake ones.
Walters struck out his only time up.
The thing these boys will do.
He'll drive one to center field, sinking, and Carrera dives, and it rolls to his right. Walters a huge turn, but he'll go back.
And David Price, after throwing fastballs right by Walters first time up, David left a changeup up in the strike zone, and Walters hit it into center field for a solid single, and he nearly got a double out of it because Carrera left his feet.
That's a Superman type dive there.
His mouth is wide open. Phantom cam. That's beautiful. He wasn't even close.
No, he wasn't. Now, we will keep in mind the spectacular catch he made earlier this year.
Oh, that was special.
Yeah,
that was special.
This one, not as much. He's not afraid. We know that. Here's Aguilar. He'll take a ball inside from Price. He still has that mid to upper 90s fastball.
He will feature that until the time he leaves this game. He's thrown a total of 89 pitches, but 120, 125 is nothing out of the ordinary for David.
A little bit high, and the count runs 2-0 now on Aguilar. Walking a strikeout for the Indians DH today. Hit 19 home runs down to Columbus, knocked in 77. He's only 24. Here's a 2-0. Drilled to center field. Carrera moving back. No need to dive for this one, and the inning's over. No runs and a hit. One man left. Let's go to the seventh.
Here with the call-ups of 7 players who will all be there tomorrow. One, the Eastern League most valuable player, Steven Moya, who has a very, very nice head of hair, but he was getting killed by one of the Tiger veterans today about said head of hair, and that veteran was Jabba Chamberlain. not giving any sort of follicle advice to anyone is a little bit surprising, but there was a sign up that the barber was in the Tigers clubhouse today. Get it cut, he kept saying to Stephen Moya. Big smiles as the veterans welcome the rookies to the bigs. Mario, right?
All right, Keats, thanks very much. What do you think about Jabba? Jabba calling him out.
Yeah, Jabba had got no room to talk. But I kind of like the old school fro there displayed by the kid, Stephen Moy. And why mess with him? The boy was the MVP of the Eastern League. Leave him alone.
And it's not like it's flowing down to the down to his hips. I mean, it's a nice look.
It is.
And you're right. I mean, all that matters are the numbers. Of course, Jabba just messing with him. And we'll see Moya at some point in a ball game, we hope soon. See what he can do. There's a ground ball, base hit.
Third hit of the day for Miguel Cabrera.
So the day off yesterday apparently did him some good. And the Tigers now have the leadoff man on here in the 7th.
His swing always looks good, no matter whether it's in Phantom Cam or whether we're looking at it live.
First baseman Victor Martinez.
2 singles and a homer tonight for Cabrera. Tigers trying to add to their 5-1 lead. Here's Victor Martinez.
And no need for their first baseman Santana to hold Miguel Cabrera on. Miggy not going anywhere. He can use the extra room trying to knock down a ground ball should Victor turn on one of these 95 mile power fastballs that McAllister have been featuring since he entered the game in the 4th.
The home run that Martinez hit was his 28th back in the 3rd inning earlier today. He'll drive this one hard to right field. That ball is over the head of Walters. Cabrera will go to third base. It's going to be a double for Victor Martinez. Second and third, nobody out.
Walters must have been watching Torrey Hunter play right field. Torrey Hunter at times will deke that base runner into thinking he's going to catch the ball in right field, even though he's not going to catch it. He tried to deke Miguel Cabrera, but Miguel Cabrera, even though he's not running well, he's still an outstanding base runner. He was not going to be deked by the right fielder Walters.
Miggy's he's got that 6th sense. He's just so aware on the base pass.
And he knows that sound coming off Victor's bat. He knew that Walters wasn't going to catch it. One, because he took a look at where Walters was playing and before the pitch was even thrown.
So second and third, nobody out. That's going to bring up J.D. Martinez. They're not going to let him hit.
Well, why would they? Tigers 3, 4, 5 hitters today are 7 for 10 with 3 homers and 5 driven in. And J.D. Martinez would be in that same conversation with Victor and Miggy.
J.D. going to reach for the 3rd time in this game. That's going to leave a bases loaded, nobody out situation. And the first crack at it will go to Nick Castellanos. Intentional walk. I think that's a couple of them now for J.D. this year. All-time leaders in hits. Cabrera, 201. Jason Sierra, Aguilera on that list at 198. So they're loaded up now. That was his first, actually, huh? First intentional walk for J.D. You know what? I was thinking of Castellanos. Didn't he get his first couple of days?
He did.
Well, they can't walk Castellanos now because the bases are loaded. There's the Tigers box score. And there's that middle you spoke of. Awfully beefy. Castellanos, couple of hits, 2 singles. Ball 1. The Tigers now posted 12 hits here this afternoon. Nick looks at a ball outside, 2-0 with no room at the end. They are loaded up. McAllister had a couple of easy innings, and then the Tigers loaded the bases but could not score in the 6th. And they are loaded up again here in the 7th. That's in for a strike, 2-1. There is action in the bullpen. Brian Price, the right-hander, and Nick Hagedorn is the lefty. Way inside, and now the count is 3-1 on Castellanos.
Here's where you just keyhole the pitcher. You make sure you get the one pitch that you're looking for to make sure you can drive in at least one run. You don't have to get greedy here. You already have a 4-run lead. Just make sure you get something up in the strike zone that you can hit deep enough to the outfield to score at least one run.
Now the 3-1 on the outer edge. 96, nicely placed by McAllister. 3-2. They are loaded up with Cabrera and a couple of Martinez's. Victor and JD. Got him, strike 3. Castellanos thought he had a walk, and he's punched out by Adrian Johnson, who says get back to the dugout. Nick beefing that call.
We're going to make it our pitch by pitch. Castellanos worked himself into a really nice count. 3 balls and 1 strike, and a really nice fastball thrown by McAllister on the black. That Castellanos could not do anything with. He came back with the same fastball. That one was tailing. It looked like it was low, and it was caught by Gomes, but he was punched out by the home plate umpire.
It's going to be it for McAllister. They will go to the bullpen now with Castellanos out for the first out of the inning. We'll be back to Cleveland. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup, and by the makers of 5-Hour Energy. Well, the Tigers lead 5-1, but they're trying to add to that lead. Bases loaded, 1 out. Nick Hagedorn will come on to face Alex Avila.
And 27th game for Hagedorn. He's got really good numbers, a 1.37 ERA. We told you most of the guys that have been here all year long, their numbers are good. out of that bullpen. He's pretty much a situational guy for Francona. Goes up against mostly lefties.
And Avila looks at ball one. 0 for 2 for Avila today. Does have a walk. McAllister struck out Ford before departing. 196 career for Avila with the bases loaded. Here's the 1-0. 2-0 on Avila. Hagedorn in relief of McAllister. Tigers a base hit away here from really blowing it open. Here's the 2-0 from Hagedorn. 3-0. Well, Castellanos got way ahead before McAllister came back to strike him out. Here's Suarez waiting on deck.
Yeah, I know Avila from time to time will get the green light in a 3-0 count, but I don't know what he'll do here. I would say take one.
And he is. It's a strike. 3-1 out of Avila.
And the reason I say take one, because Hagedorn's got to come back with that same pitch right here. And if you're Avila, you've already seen 4 fastballs. They've all been in the mid-90s. So you have a pretty good idea how fast that ball's getting into the hitting zone.
Drill to right field, base hit. Cabrera scores. Martinez will go to third and stop there. The Tigers get another run on the RBI single by Alex Avila.
Yeah, Tigers going to station here in the 7th inning. And just a really nice at bat. Very patient at bat by the Tigers catcher Alex Avila, who got another one of those fastballs and simply got out in front of it and hit it back to the pull field.
Shortstop, Domingo Suarez.
And Avila gets an RBI, his 41st of the year. The Tigers now are up 6-1 and still in business here with Suarez coming up. He looks at ball one. Tigers get their first run since scoring 3 in the 3rd. Suarez shoots one over the glove of Ramirez. Hits short. That'll get another run in. Keeping the chains moving, and the Tigers get back-to-back RBI hits. 7-1.
Yeah, Terry Francona had his infield playing at halfway depth, and had the shortstop Ramirez been playing back a couple of steps, he would have been able to snare this line drive off the bat of Suarez. But the reason why the infield was playing where they're playing right now is they wanted to make sure anything on the ground. They wanted Victor Martinez to think twice about trying to score.
Now batting, number 61 is Ezekiel Correa.
It's going to make it 14 hits now for the Tigers in this game.
As bad as they played yesterday, they come out today and they're playing a pretty clean game.
Much crisper.
That game yesterday was about as ugly as they could get.
Here is Carrera. Ezekiel fouls it back out of play. 0-1. 7 runs on 14 Tigers hits. There's still only 1 out in this inning. Carrera's hit into a double play. He has bounced out. He is single. And he's gotten that average back up to 283 now for the Tigers. Had 5 hits in the series against the White Sox. swing and a miss. Unable to stop his swing. 0-2.
You just really see the value of Miguel Cabrera in the lineup. And whether he's 100% or not, when he's getting on base, it just provides so many opportunities for the other members of the middle of their batting order. That would be Victor and also J.D. Martinez. And he's leading the charge with his lips, too.
Miggy a homer, 2 singles, and he has scored 3 runs. Bouncing ball up the middle. Shortstop will tag the bag 1, and that's going to be a double play to end the inning. However, Tigers able to get a couple of more runs to extend their lead. RBI hits by Avila and Eugenio Suarez making Miggy happy. And the Tigers now have taken a 7-1 lead. And we hope your Labor Day weekend has gone well. All Tiger fans enjoying the outing here today in Cleveland. Their ball club leads 7-1. And right now we'll get a performance of God Bless America. It'll be performed by third-class Julius Coker of the United States Fleet Forces Band.
Defending our freedoms and liberties. Now, please join musician third-class Julius Coker from the United States Fleet Forces Band in the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountain to the prairie, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
And coming up, the David Price has been in command in this one. The Tigers have backed him up with 14 hits. They lead 7-1 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Lonnie Chisenhall will start things off facing the Tigers lefty. Chisenhall, Bourne, and Jose Ramirez.
And Chisenhall has 2 hits here today of the 7 that David Price has given up. But coming in, we told you that he's got really good numbers overall against left-handed pitching.
Single double for Chisenhall, who came in batting .347 versus lefties. Earlier this year had a 9 RBI game, a 5-hit game against Texas. No balls, 2 strikes. Price in this ball game has fanned 7.
And the majority of those strikeouts have come with a power fastball. He's been all the way up to 97 miles an hour in this game, and he's touched 97 a couple of different times.
To center field, Carrera coming in. 1 out.
Let's take a peek at the overall body of work here this afternoon by David Price, who's had to pitch his way out of a couple of jams, but by and large, he has kept the ball out of the middle of the plate. He has stayed inside. He has stayed outside. He has done very well here. Double plays turned behind him. Defenders have been on their toes, and David Price has done the rest. That's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity.
(13-5) in the September-October stretch in the career. So down the stretch late in the season, David Price awfully good.
I thought the high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity was coming there, but it's coming.
Stand by.
Yep.
It's on its way.
Hold your horses.
Must have been on the plane last night coming from Kansas City with Cleveland.
Must have been. They didn't get here till about 4 a.m. in the morning.
Ah, there it is.
Yep. Top fastball 97. Just in case you didn't believe the words that were coming out of my mouth.
1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Bourne. It'll bounce in. 2-1 now, and the leadoff man for the Tribe. Bourne had a single back in the 5th. There really haven't been too many instances where you felt, something might be happening here. Price got a double play ball to help himself out in the 3rd. A couple of strikeouts after a hit in the 4th. 2 on, no damage in the 5th. Now the 2-1. Right back up the middle. There's a base hit. And another one for Bourne, his 2nd of the game. 1 on, 1 out here in the 7th. We'll bring in Ramirez, the number 2 hitter.
Now hitting for Cleveland, number 11, Jose Ramirez.
A couple of strikeouts for Ramirez in this game, 0 for 3. And he looks at ball 1 outside. Fastball from Price. He was about to reach the 100 plateau with his next pitch. Here's the 1-0 offering, and it's a strike on the outer edge. So there's an even 100 now for Price.
And David's been getting that fastball called all afternoon long by the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson.
Swing and a miss. Price typically is 100 and well beyond that. Only 2 starts with the Rays that he did not reach that level. And the only start with the Tigers, of course, was the last one when he got bounced in the 2nd inning of that game and pitched only, or threw only 68 pitches. He's ahead 1-2. Foul back.
Actually, a guy that throws as hard as David does, you want to stay around the belt buckle with the fastball where he has been most of the day to a lot of these right-handed batters. When you go down in the strike zone as he does right here to Ramirez, that pitch is a little bit easier for right-handers and left-handers to get to, because really all you have to do is drop the barrel of the bat into the strike zone and you allow David to supply a lot of the power. It's harder to climb the ladder with your hands and catch up to the 95 than it is on the ball that is down in the strike zone. There you go.
Adios to Mr. Ramirez. Another strikeout. That'll be 8 now for Price. Hey, Monday, September 8th is a big sports day in Detroit. It starts when the Tigers host the Royals at 4:08 at Comerica Park. Get a ticket to the game and a Motor City Sports Party t-shirt at tigers.com/sports. Here's Michael Brantley. Did you hear where at Kauffman Stadium they were changing the words to "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey?
I did not
Where it
hear
says
that.
"Born and raised in South Detroit." They changed it to "Born and raised to beat Detroit." So they're getting into it in KC.
Well, good for them. Tigers will get a chance to see that Kansas City Royals team 6 more times before the year is over. 3 at Detroit, 3 in Kansas City.
Here's a strike called Michael Brantley.
I'm pretty sure they may even be tuned in at our telecast here tonight. Along with Kansas City Royals, they play a night game tonight.
Brantley had a single and scored a run in the first inning on the double by Santana, and to this point that is all that David Price has allowed. Nothing else. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball to the right side. Kinsler ranging left. Brantley retired, and so are the Indians here in the 7th. David Price being David Price. 7-1 Detroit. It's like a hockey game. They're changing lines here in Cleveland. First, we'll check out the numbers on Brian Price, who's making his major league debut.
A lot of games in the minor leagues for Price before finally getting an opportunity to pitch in the big league. You can see that the ERA is at 3.53, which is pretty good. So he has started in the minor leagues. He's also closed some games in the minor leagues. Lots of strikeouts for Brian Price, making his major league debut.
All right, you ready for the changes?
About 6 of them, isn't it?
Yeah. Zach Walters will move from right to left. Tyler Holt is the new center fielder. Chris Dickerson is the new right fielder. We're not done. Roberto Perez is the new catcher. Now we're done, because we told you about Price. He's the other change. Tigers feeling pretty good about this one right now. They lead comfortably in this contest as we go to the 8th inning.
And Brad Ausmus has got his lineup card in his hand, trying to figure out where Terry Francona put all these guys in the batting order. Now he's just going to go out and ask the question to see where they're at.
Yeah, they're not necessarily going to be straight up. We'll see. Holt will go in the first spot in the lineup. Perez will hit in the 3rd spot in the lineup.
Well, Terry Francona getting a lot of his starting players off their feet after they played that grueling series in Kansas City over the weekend. Then they played the Sunday night game last night. They did not get back to Cleveland until about 3:30 in the morning.
In the meantime, here come the Tigers now. They've got the top of the lineup up there. Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera. Tigers have 7 runs, 14 hits, and the Indians a run on 8 hits. Kinsler watches one sail on the inside corner for a strike and apparently disagreed.
It's been a very generous strike zone all afternoon long by Adrian Johnson, and it's gone both ways.
Oh, he sawed off his bat, splintered it. Who's going to take it? Perez, the catcher, throws him out. 2-3 in the put out, 1 gone.
Yeah, real nice communication between Price and Perez, the catcher. And Price, the pitcher, went over to get it and probably could have made the play himself, but was simply called off by the catcher, Perez. So he peeled out of the way, and Perez able to finish the play. The ball hit right off the end of the bat, it appeared.
Yep.
And Ian's got one of those cupped bats. Every time you see the bat splinter like that, it's right because it hit off the very end of the bat.
Here's Torrey Hunter now. He is hitless in this contest. See if he can join the party. Tigers have 14 hits.
And for those of you that don't know why some players use cup bats, it's because they want their bats a little heavier. It looks like Torrey's got one as well. They want their bats to be a little bit more heavier. They want their bats to be a little bit more compact, but they don't want the weight of that, so they simply cut a hole out at the tip of the bat, and that kind of balances it out a little bit.
One ball, 1 strike. Torrey waves and misses. When Victor Martinez was traded by the Indians to the Red Sox a couple of years ago, Brian Price was one of the pieces that Cleveland got back in return for Victor. Here are the particulars, and this is his major league debut. He's been in the minor leagues since 2008.
He's going to get a chance to face the guy that he was traded for. There's Victor Martinez asking or telling someone about Price and the fact that he throws a split-fingered fastball. You saw Victor motioning with his hand.
Fouled away.
I don't know what Victor Martinez wants to do when his baseball career is over, but he would make a really good hitting instructor.
Yeah, I would think so. But for Victor, a couple of years down the line at least. But amazing what he has done this year. Really from start to finish. Missed it low. Can you remember an elongated stretch where Martinez struggled this year?
No. I mean, coming out of the break, he was a little bit slow. But other than that, I really cannot think of Victor struggling at all this year.
Now the 3-2. Right back up the middle on the ground to the shortstop, Ramirez. Well, Torrey hits that ball hard, but he's going to be out, and he's going to have an 0 for 5. 2 gone. Here comes Cabrera, who gets lustily booed when he comes to the plate here in Cleveland.
That's because he's just absolutely worn out, tried pitching since putting on a Tigers uniform. Already 3 more hits today. Mickey's got that batting average back up to a healthy 303. Hit his first home run here today. If those of you that did not see it, it was earlier in the game. First time Mickey had homered in a month. Uh-oh.
Did he get another one? It's deep. And it is gone. It's out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
He went the other way with his second home run of the game.
On 1 foot.
Wow. Cabrera hadn't homered since August 2nd. Now he's hit one to left and one to right. And Miggy now has 19.
And Terry Francona is probably saying to himself, what happened to the Miguel Cabrera that we watched over the weekend in Chicago that was struggling and hobbling, but Miggy gets a fastball up in the strike zone, and welcome to the big leagues, Mr. Price.
His first major league home run allowed off the bat of Miguel Cabrera. No shame in that. Yep, Cabrera's pretty good. Here's Victor Martinez. 8-1 ball game now for the Tigers.
Well, he's got that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. If he decides to throw Victor Martinez one of those inside, Victor will be looking to hit another one out of here today. He's already homered as well. His 28th of the season, already a career high for Victor.
Tigers have hit 4 home runs against Indians pitching in this game. 2 by Miggy, 1 by Victor, 1 by JD. By the way, that means free curly fries tomorrow at participating Arby's locations.
That's for 3 of them, right?
That's for 3 of them. So
what do they give you for 4?
They might give you a few extra ones in there.
A few extra, a large version.
We're not promising you anything.
Yeah, you didn't hear it here.
No. We're
don't
just
go in
kidding.
there saying Rod and Mario said anything.
Rod said I get a few extra ones. 2-1 on Victor Martinez. That'll get back out of play. 2-2 on Victor. Another 94 from Brian Price, who was born in Granbury, Texas. 27 years old. Tigers have action in their bullpen. Al Albuquerque.
He showed you that he had pitched in 221 games in the minors, so he's well seasoned and down there.
Way outside. 3-2.
And Victor is still looking for that 94, 95-mile-per-hour fastball that he could turn on if he gets one inside. If it's away, he'll simply take the ball the opposite way. That's how you hit .330 in the big leagues.
Ooh, big Rick there by Victor. Fouled it straight back. Martinez has reached the 90 plateau in RBIs. He had a big month of August. In fact, he had 41 hits in the month of August. Led the American League with 30 RBIs. And September starting like August ended. Homer and a double today. Martinez watched that one into the glove, and he's going to take his walk. 2 out base on balls. He joined the Tigers in the Barbara Ann Carmanos Cancer Institute on Friday, September 12th, as we pick out the park to honor breast cancer survivors and support breast health awareness. For tickets, go to Tigers.com.
And Mike Trout, clearly the leader in the clubhouse as far as winning his first American League MVP this year on September 1st, if he continues to play the way that he's played all season long. But if he does slip a little bit, that'll allow guys like Alex Gordon and Victor Martinez, Jose Abreu, to really get into the conversation for what they have meant to their team's success. I know Abreu has not helped his team win a lot of games, but his numbers kind of speak for themselves.
John Kelly coming on now to pinch run. JD Martinez. Oh, 1-1. JD had a homer in the 3rd, was walked intentionally in the 7th. A couple of hits today. Also has a single on his resume. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers 7 runs, make it 8 runs, I should say. 15 hits for the Indians, 1 run, 8 hits. Meanwhile, the numbers just continue to pile up for the Tigers, middle of the lineup today. 3, 4, and 5 is now 8 for 11. Oh, and by the way, they've had 4 home runs. And we're not quite done yet.
Today's game is a classic example of turning the page.
Hit him. So Martinez is aboard, or yeah, JD is aboard, and that's going to bring up Castellanos. Yeah, it really is, because the Tigers probably played as poorly as they did all season yesterday.
And then they don't have a whole lot of time to think about it. A short flight over here to Cleveland, day game, and so the guys have to get right back out there and to try to win a game, and they're in a pretty good position to do so here today with David Price on the mound in a 7-run lead.
Meanwhile, Brian Price is falling apart here after retiring the first 2 batters, a homer, a walk, and a hit batter. That'll bring up Castellanos. Grounded foul. No balls, 1 strike.
Yeah, Nick Castellanos had a shot to pad his numbers his last time up. The bases were loaded with 1 out, and Castellanos struck out against McAllister, who was in the game at that time.
One ball, 1 strike. Castellanos 2 hits, both singles. Came in batting .304 in his previous 22 games. Fastball rides inside at 94, 2-1. About to throw his 25th pitch. Brian Price. Whistle to right field. That's going to drop, base hit. Don Kelly coming around. They're going to now send him back to third. Took too wide of a turn, but he got back.
Don Kelly did not see the stop sign from Dave Clark there. Dave Clark was all the way down the line, and Don Kelly was running with his head down. Donnie just assumed with 2 outs that he was going to have an opportunity to score, but Dave Clark had the hand up, and you'll get a shot at Don Kelly rounding third. Then he had to really put on the brakes about halfway to get back.
Mickey Callaway coming out to talk to the pitcher now. He's going to load the bases after the first 2 are retired in this inning. It's going to mean the 3rd hit of the game now for Castellanos. Adams warming up, the right-hander in their bullpen.
And Castellanos with that classic inside-out swing. Don Kelly on second base got a pretty good read on it, but Dave Clark, with a healthy lead, did not want to force the issue by sending Don Kelly home.
That is the 16th hit of this game for Detroit. Here's Avila now with the bases loaded. He'll try and pad his stats. Singled in a run back in the 7th. Ball 1. It'll get back out of play. 1-1 on Avila. 5-game hit streak now for the Tigers catcher. He's knocked in 41. On base a couple of times today. He's also drawn a walk, and that's something that Alex will do. He does strike out quite a bit, but he takes a lot of base on balls. Broken bat, roll toward third. Chisenhall skidding to his knees, has no play. It's going to be an infield hit and an RBI as Kelly comes around to score. And the Tigers lead 9-1. It's 5 in a row that have reached after the first 2 were retired.
Another broken bat. That ball hit right off the end of the bat, but by the time Chisenhall was able to get there, and nothing he could do as far as making a play on Avila, and that bat went all the way out to the mound. I don't even think Price saw it. It landed right at his feet.
He was looking the other way.
Looking at third base.
Suarez pops it up. The catcher Perez under it, and that'll end the inning. Tigers had a couple of more runs. The first one came in on the big swing of the bat the other way for Miguel Cabrera. Big fella's gone deep twice in this game. All Tigers this afternoon. Night game here. Kyle Lobstein, Carlos Carrasco.
And Carrasco is pitching some pretty good baseball these days, as is most of their starters. He is 6-4. He's got that power fastball that will get up to the 95, 96 mile per hour range. Lobstein, he's had one relief appearance. He's had one start. His start came against the New York Yankees, and he pitched very well against them that afternoon. Not a lot of strikeouts, not a lot of walks. Lobstein pitches to a lot of contact, but he changes speeds very well. He works all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with his fastball. He's got a nice little fading changeup he'll have on display tomorrow.
Well, that's tomorrow, but we've got to get through tonight, and the Tigers are leading it right now 9-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Albuquerque has taken over now for Detroit. And Santana looks at a strike 0-1.
Albuquerque checks in with some pretty good numbers. The ERA just a shade over 2.5, averaging a strikeout per game.
Drops in for a strike on Santana. Make it 0-2. Don Kelly stays in the game to take over at first base for Martinez. Here's the 0-2. Tried to finish him off with a fastball there, and Santana got a piece of it. 1 for 3 with a double in the very first inning, and yes, that has been it for the Indians. And all Tigers since. Fouled away. Santana to be followed by Dickerson, and then Kipnis pulled foul down the first base line. David Price was outstanding again here tonight. 8 strikeouts for David, bouncing back from that rocky outing against the Yankees.
And very easily could have went out there for the 8th inning here, but with an 8-run lead. And Brad Ausmus knows that watching his starting pitchers the remainder of the way of September is going to be very, very important.
Toward left field on the move is J.D. Martinez, has a beat on it. Just enough room, one gone. As promised earlier in the game, here is the AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. One out now for Chris Dickerson. His first at bat of the ball game. Ball one high and away from Albuquerque. Tigers have 3 more here in Cleveland, and then it's back home, and we have only one more road trip left. Here's the 1-0 pitch. By him in 95.
Dickerson has 2 home runs this year, and both of those home runs have come against the Tigers.
The 1-1 is fouled straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dickerson. Well, coming into this game, the Indians in the month of August had the best numbers ERA-wise among their starters and their entire staff. But the Tigers have planted 9 runs on 17 hits against them tonight. And against their ace, Corey Kluber, as well, they knocked him out early in the game.
Knocked him out in the 3rd inning.
By the way, these 17 hits allowed, most in a 9-inning game this year by the Tribe.
Terry Francona's got a lot of numbers down there he's looking at. I guess he's got a matchup for everything. That's how the games are being played these days.
Swing and a miss. So Dickerson retired. 2 up, 2 down here against Albuquerque. What's going on with the Tigers here in September? You see the Cleveland series, and then Frisco comes in over the weekend. KC, Cleveland, boy, that's going to be a fun week.
Yes, it is.
Then it's on the road for the Tigers' final road trip of the year.
That San Francisco team all of a sudden playing some really good baseball again under their manager, Bruce Bochy. He's one of the best in the game.
Kipnis looks at a strike.
And Tigers might get a chance to face Jake Peavy, who was traded from the Boston Red Sox back to the San Francisco Giants. Of course, he pitched. And for the Padres, when their manager was Bruce Bochy, and he was pitching really well back in those days for the Padres. He took a no-hitter into the 8th inning just a couple days ago.
I saw that. There's the ball outside. Peavy involved in that Avisail Garcia Jose Iglesias 3-way trade that the Tigers pulled off last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. High fly ball left field. Should be an easy 1-2-3 for Mr. Albuquerque, and it is. 8 in the books here in Cleveland. Let's go to the 9th.
And so it'll be back to you and Craig Monroe in the Call Sam Studios for the Tigers Live post-game coverage. Got to believe it'll be a festival of smiles and lots of sighs of relief in the Tigers clubhouse. You'll hear from Brad Ausmus and David Price and hopefully Miguel Cabrera. Tigers Live with Mickey and Simo coming up right after the game. To Mario and Rod upstairs, guys.
All right, John, thanks. In the meantime, we've got another inning of baseball to play here. 9-1 is our score as Ezequiel Carrera leads it off. First pitch swinging, hits one to left field. Walters backs up, makes the play. One pitch, one out. Got a new hurler for the Cleveland Indians. It's Austin Adams.
Austin Adams has pitched in 3 games in the big leagues. The ERA is over 10, 3 1/3 innings, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts.
You see September call-up, but Adams is actually beginning his 3rd stint. And Hernan Perez is going to pinch hit here. Perez for Kinsler. And Hernan looks at a ball inside. 1-0. Kinsler will take the rest of the night off, giving way to Perez, who batted .287 down in the minor leagues. 6 homers this year, 53 driven in with the Mud Hens. In there, a strike. One and one the count on Perez. There's a ball high. I was about to ask you, how and when do you think Brad will use Steven Moya? And we just got our answer.
That's what they look like.
He is on deck. And he'll get his first big league at bat. Perez sends a ground ball to left, base hit. 1 on, 1 out. Well, here he is, Steven Moya. The Eastern League's MVP this year, had a monster season in the minor leagues.
We've watched him the last couple of years in Major League spring training, but the only knock on Moya was the fact that he never was able to really stay healthy throughout a minor league season, therefore never really able to put up the kind of numbers that he was able to put up this year. But what an impressive looking young man.
33 doubles, 35 homers, 105 in the RBI column.
6'7" and chiseled. That bat looks like a toothpick in his hand.
Not afraid to swing it either. 97 on the gun. Moya fouls it back, 0-1.
That's what you're taught to do when you come off that bench as a pinch hitter. You don't let that first fastball go by.
(9-1). Tigers have the lead. We're in the 9th. 1 on, 1 out. Steven Moya's first major league at bat. Takes the ball high and away. 1-1 the count on Moya. Also led the Eastern League in slugging percentage, extra base hits, total bases. A pretty easy call on the MVP this year in the Eastern League. Moya fouls it off down the third base line. 1-2.
You don't see a whole lot of kids make the jump from AA to the big leagues, but Moya has that kind of skill set which led the Tigers to believe that he could handle big league pitching for the final month of the season.
Moya fouls it back out of play, so he's hanging in there.
And the Mud Hens are playing in Columbus. They have one more game before the minor league season is over. That would be the guys that were in Toledo. And those guys simply got in a car and drove over here to Cleveland.
Moya last year in A-ball hit 12 home runs, so he made the jump from A to AA and went from 12 homers to 35. He shoots that one foul back out of play. Spoils another 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Low and in, and the count goes 2-2. Moya resides in the Dominican Republic in the offseason, was born in Puerto Rico. Bouncing ball right side, base hit. Moya has a single in his first big league at bat. And the bench loves it.
And throw that ball out. Look at Moya, he's asking for the ball himself. Kevin Rand, he's got it.
Put it away for safekeeping. There it goes in the pouch. Congratulations, Mr. Moya. First major league hit in his first major league at bat. A big smile to prove it.
Omar Vizquel has to look up to Stephen Moya, as does most folks.
We all do. So Tyler Collins now will get an at bat. The Tigers have 2 on with 1 out. Ball 1 outside to Collins. Second stint with the Tigers this year. He was optioned down early in the year back in April. On the 18th, he was sent to Toledo. And something the Tigers now have on their bench, courtesy of these call-ups, a little bit of punch now with Collins, who hit 18 homers in the minors, and Moya, who hit 35.
And Collins made the major league roster coming out of spring training because Andy Dirks landed on the disabled list with surgery on his back.
He drives one high in the air, deep into center field. Holt going back, track, wall, it's in the bushes.
How about these kids?
Holy cats, over the center field wall into the shrubbery for Tyler Collins. And the youngsters are putting on a show here in the ninth.
That's 3 home runs out of that number 3 slot today. Miggy hit a couple, and now Tyler Collins connects for a big fly.
You've got to hit it good to send it into the trees.
That's his first major league home run.
Ooh, it sounded loud.
Adams throws about 96, 97 miles an hour, too.
That makes it a 12-1 ball game, and it gives the Tigers 20 hits on the afternoon.
Is it that easy, boys?
Apparently so. Don Kelly batting now after pinch running for Martinez earlier in the game. That is low. 2-0 the count.
And Tigers did not see that kind of power out of Collins when he was up at the beginning of the season, but he was not getting consistent reps, and then he started to sit too much, so they simply flip-flopped him for J.D. Martinez.
That's driven in the air to center. It's going to be playable, though. Holt will cruise over and make the catch on that one. 2 gone. So we get a first big league hit for Stephen Moya. First big league homer for Tyler Collins.
5 runs scored today out of that number 3 spot. Miggy scored 4, and now Collins has scored 1 himself.
And 5 long balls in the game for Detroit. Here's J.D. Martinez. Swing and a miss, 0-1. A 3-run ninth. The Tigers now have 7 runs in the last 3 innings. Busting open a tight game. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on JD. Nothing but smiles right now on the Tigers bench. James McCann's thinking, man, I want to take some swings. Everybody else getting in the party.
That's James right there, right?
Yep.
Good looking man.
Swing and a miss. Not going to get a chance, though, as Martinez strikes out, ending the inning. So some of the call-ups showing off here. Moya's first big league hit. That got the bench going. So did this. Tyler Collins' first big league homer. Into the shrubbery. 12-1 Detroit.
On 20 hits, no day bigger than Miguel Cabrera's day, and he's our Call Sam Call of the Game candidate this afternoon.
Driven down the left field line. That ball is up, and it is gone. A line drive home run for Miguel Cabrera.
Roy Hobbs.
He's going to hobble around the bases and give the Tigers a 2-0 lead.
I see you, big fella. Uh-oh.
Did he get another one? It's deep, and it is gone. It's out of here.
Oh, my goodness.
He went the other way with his second home run of the game.
On 1 foot.
So the Tigers have a 12-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Jim Johnson has come on now for Detroit to salt this one away.
Anytime you can get Jim Johnson out there to work on that really good two-seam fastball, even though you've got an 11-run lead, you want to do so because I'm starting to see some positive things from Johnson. I know he's given up a few hits as a Tiger, but I'm also starting to see a really good fastball, 93, 94, and a usable breaking ball from a guy that saved over 100 games the previous 2 seasons.
When Johnson retires, the first man he faces, Walters, on a ground ball to second. Here are the numbers. These are the numbers between Oakland and Detroit. You see the ERA is elevated at 7.38. And he's getting an opportunity here now as Jason Giambi will step in and hit. Everybody getting to play today.
Terry Francona really appreciates Jason Giambi and his professionalism and what he adds to their team. He hasn't done much this year as far as the bat's concerned, but he has given a lot to the team in the clubhouse. He is quite the leader.
Number 72 back in 1993. That's the number he wore in his first spring training with Oakland. A long time ago, and he put up some big numbers with the Athletics. And as his career begins to head into the sunset, he's got that number on his back once again. brought his locker mates back in '93, Dennis Eckersley and Goose Gossage that year. A couple of salty veterans who probably took the youngster Giambi, made him feel comfortable.
Right.
Hernan Perez stays in the game to play second, and a swing and a miss. Giambi's out of there.
I bet you back in those days, Giambi had to go get a lot of coffee for those veterans.
No doubt.
Order me a cup of coffee, rookie.
Stephen Moya is in right. James McCann getting an inning here behind the dish. What a great opportunity for Brad Ausmus to get some of the young guys in. 2 up, 2 down. Here is Lonnie Chisenhall, the last chance today for the Tribe. And he looks at ball 1. Chisenhall, a couple of hits in his first 2 at bats against David Price, a single and a double. Now Johnson with the 1-0. Fouled off of McCann. 1 ball, 1 strike. A 20-hit day today for the Tigers, and they lead 12-1. Oh, drilled it. Chisenhall hit by the pitch on the leg.
Well, Johnson was missing quite a bit with those cut fastballs that he was throwing to Giambi. Giambi was just able to get out of the way, but not as fortunate there is Chisenhall.
Now at bat, number 62.
That'll keep the inning going now for Tyler Holt. The runner goes, and it's grounded foul. 0-1 on Holt. Spent the majority of the season in Columbus. Started the year at AA. 305 in the minors this year. Johnson trying to get the final out here. Put the finishing touches on a Game 1 victory for the Tigers. And bending out of there, a strike called as the runner takes second base. Chisenhall moving up. 0-2 the count. And he got him, strike 3. Holt is caught looking, and that is the ball game. In the 9th inning, no runs, a hit, batter, 1 left. Tyler Collins hits his first major league home run. One of these September call-ups to get it done here today. Stephen Moya's first big league hit, a big smile. 12-1, Tigers win. We'll be back.